Hello and welcome. We are here. It's Sunday. It's the circus. I put on my clown face, even though I'm so backlit and the camera's so far away, you can't pay attention. And Loki, I moved his seat, and his sister says, "Human, you started you are sitting at the streaming desk. Why are there not snackies for us yet?" All right, let me see if I can encourage Freya Furfurs to be cute over there. Loki, your snackies are coming. Hold on, big boy.
Hey, Gilroy.
Hello, Kilroy. What you working on? How's it going? What's the weather like where you're at?
Oh, now all the notifications are kicking in now. YouTube is just lacking and lagging.
Yeah. Did you read in your creator studio that new letter from the guy Neil? I haven't looked over it yet. Maybe we can pull that up later.
Oh, no, I haven't. I can't deal with any more bad news.
Your snackies are right here. Your brother's gonna steal them. Okay, I'll leave two for later.
I'm over bad news.
I know, I haven't seen it, but okay. So I've got my clown face on because it's been a hot minute, and I thought I'd scare everybody new here. Hello, and this schmata was from. There's a woman, Gwen Shenanigans, who used to do a vintage pool party. And then last year I was like, oh, I will make this Vogue 70s style beach cover up. And then they didn't do the vintage pool party. So I'm bringing the pool party back. So whoever wants to make vintage swim attire, let's start thinking about it.
I'm down. Well, are the 1990s David Hasselhoff Baywatch shorts considered vintage?
Yes, it's been 30 years ago, so I will go by the technical definition of vintage. As much as it pains me to say this, yes.
I have a ton of stuff from that era.
I know. I don't have very much of mine left, but I did.
I wouldn't mind the 1960s Jack LaLanne style shorts, though.
Fair. All right. Oh, thank you, Liz. You're too sweet. And Kilroy's eating. I'm working on my fish sandwiches and cup of coffee. Perfect. The weather was ridiculous. We had almost 50-mile-per-hour winds for 2 days.
Yikes.
I found random pieces of siding in the yard and an 8 mine. Oi. That is terrifying. Yeah, it snowed yesterday, and now we have a wind warning for today, and then it's supposed to snow again on Tuesday, and then next week. The plants don't know what to do. At least it's been consistently cold to the fruit tree. Nothing has gotten leaves or really bloomed yet, except for the giant maple that I wish would just get cut down behind my house, but can't fix other people's problems, or it's not on my property.
We have wars around here over trees and fences. Like,
Fair.
Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's freezing here. You know what the sad thing is? The sun's out. It feels like a spring day. Like, it is beautiful.
I know. Same here. I know. I can't believe I don't celebrate Easter, but Easter's in 2 weeks. I was gonna make in the Ukrainian. Hey, stop eating my cords, cat. You're gonna cause me problems. There's a wax resist egg technique they do called pisankis, and I've got new dyes and my Kiska everything ready, and I just couldn't do it. Didn't make any this year.
You look like you're going to a rodeo or square. I actually can do both.
Oh, the square dance. Oh, Liz, it's 38 up there. I know, it has been so cold.
Rate it from 1 to 5.
5 stars.
Thanks. Your rating will help other customers make better choices.
You guys think I'm playing? When the robots come to take over the human race, like Isaac Asimov predicted, they're going to be nice to me because I was nice to my Alexa.
I'm too scared to have one. I mean, I don't know. All the AI stuff, I don't know. The AI just passed the law school exam.
The best way to describe it is in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, it was don't trust the government.
Yep.
In the 80s, it's they're tapping our phone. In the 90s, it was back to don't trust the government. Now it's phone tap. What's my recipe for spaghetti? Blah blah blah. Hey, phone tap. How far is the distance between blah 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 blah? Like,
Oh, good, Kilroy. When the robots take over, you're gonna come to Utah and live in the desert. Yes, and then you'll be way closer. Oh, I know Liz doesn't have any robots yet either. I know took me long enough to just like talk to Alexa on my phone, or not on my phone, on my Roku.
I like asking it random facts, and
sorry, can't stop.
even though I don't act like it. I do a lot of official paperwork in this room, and sometimes I'll get stumped, and I'm like, "Hey, A word, how do you spell this?" Or like, what's the proper way of saying this? You know. And for someone who speaks Spanish, because I don't speak it every day anymore, there are certain words that I will have to ask the A word, like, "Hey, what does this mean?" And I speak Spanish, and I'm still learning.
Right. Well, it's like in English. It's the only language I grew up speaking, and there's still words I don't know because not everything, but
Same. I tell people all the time. No one laughs anymore because we all went to public school, but I'm always like, have patience. I went to public school.
I know. I grew up with whole English. What the heck is that? And like, I can't diagram a sentence to save my life.
Alexa, how much does the human brain weigh?
Here is what I found from termpaperwarehouse.com. The human brain weighs on average 3 pounds or 1.5 kilograms.
Oh, that's too much credit.
3 pounds, huh? I'd say mine's like 4. I got a giant noggin.
Stay safe, Liz. We'll try to keep you entertained if you're only listening. I'm not showing anything exciting right now. But
do you know, and another reason why I invited the phone tap in my life is because I am not that exciting. Like, I don't have any government secrets or anything. Like, I'm the real life, like Mr. Magoo or Shaun of the Dead. Like, I kind of live my life whining and complaining as the world's falling apart around me.
Yeah, I know. I try to stay off as many as possible, but I inadvertently interface with some 3-letter agencies regularly enough.
You know, I had a brother who worked in federal prisons for longer than I've been alive, and he flat out told me, like, if they want you, they're gonna get you no matter what. They will lie. They will.
I know. Oh, that's a good segue. So, where's my? Of course, Loki knocks everything down for me. Have you heard about the cops in Adams County, Ohio, suing Afroman?
No.
Okay, well then. Okay, so we know who Afroman is, right?
I have the song stuck in my head already.
And then I was gonna get high. Okay, so from what is it? Jay and Silent Bob. There was the song I was gonna get high. So in August last year, there was a search warrant of his very humble, modest home in Ohio. With the search warrant had such they were searching for drug paraphernalia, and the last thing was kidnapping.
Whoa.
And his house probably rivals yours with the amount of security cameras, both inside and outside. He's very well.
I don't mess around.
Visualized. So the cops break into his house while he's not there. They bust through the outside fence, the door, rummage around his CD, his entire house. And amazingly enough, for a guy who sung a song about getting high, there was not a single piece of drugs, drug paraphernalia, anything incriminating.
Genius.
So in January of this year, he writes a song, "Will You Help Me Fix My Door?" And he included in the video all of the security footage from the break-in, from what the cops did. And
I didn't know any of this. That's awesome.
Well, it gets even better because now the cops are suing him for using their likenesses and for commercial purposes.
Oh, you told the truth, so we're gonna snowflakes. Get out of my country, you snowflake. I can't stand people like that. You broke into a man's house and you don't want to suffer the repercussions and consequences of your own actions. That is quite literally one of the biggest pet peeves in my life.
Yeah, it is great. All right, let's catch up here. Kilroy, that's what I keep saying. They don't need a cell phone to track you. They have guys that can literally pay forever to track you if they're invested in you. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Oh, Liz likes that song. Yeah, for man situation. I know.
So
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna defluff my sewing machine, and I have special brushes that I use to clean my sewing machine.
Oh, beautiful paintbrushes.
Because I'm bougie. I come from a long line of hoarders, and I found this, and I was like, ooh, I am never gonna paint with these. I have a perfect use for these. But they're perfect for getting in the crevices of sewing machines.
Exactly. I didn't hear about this either until I think the lawsuit with the cops just kicked off recently, and that's why it's like starting to make the rounds in the law tube sphere. But
I laugh when the law has to be on Afro Man's side though, because like once you're on, I don't know. See, it's different. I have a question. Is Mota marijuana, is it legal in Ohio?
I don't know.
Alexa, is marijuana legal in Ohio?
Federal law prohibits the use, sale, and possession of all forms of cannabis. However, the state of Ohio permits the medical use of cannabis, subject to state regulation. Ohio does not permit the recreational use of...
Thank you.
Okay, so we know we have that answer. So yeah, it was really funny that there was nothing in that.
My hero. He is the hero of the week. I need to write that down.
I know. Go pull up the video. I would do it and watch it on mute, but too much copyright. And then
so as somebody oh sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I always get excited and drink too much coffee. As someone who lives in LA, like I have a neighbor, okay, who lives in my neighborhood. He's a commercial actor. He's in a bunch of commercials. He lives in a 3-bedroom. He makes tons of money. He lives in a 3-bedroom house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not
modest.
Yeah. Like I live near a newscaster that I see on TV every day, and he lives in my grandma's old neighborhood. You know, like he's got money, but that's like, I don't know. So what I'm trying to get at is not everybody lives in a giant mansion.
Right.
And like when Aaron Carter passed away, he lived in Palmdale, California. That is, I'm gonna be nice, but that it's humble. It's a humble place.
Yeah.
I was so shocked. Well, nah, because that's Tweakerville, USA. I said it. I mean, but like, if the pipe fits, you know. But right. Like, I was just so shocked that he lived out there, you know. But people, you could buy a mansion out there with Aaron Carter's money, you know.
Well, maybe he was just being smart and not trying to squander it, or he did squander it, and that's all he could afford.
True, but he lived in Palmdale used to be something, so they have nice houses and stuff, but it's a scary place.
Yeah. like Lucy says, real estate, location.
Maybe this thing really
Oh,
did need to be fluffed.
actually, that brings me, I just heard today, somebody was telling me that, so I guess Jerry Seinfeld either has been diagnosed or has many traits of being on the spectrum. And a whole bunch of the community is now like, you're not autistic for us enough for us.
I can't stand internet outrage. I cannot stand it.
I was like, don't you want to be proud that somebody like did something, even though they
welcome to the family as a parent as has an autistic child. Like I you know what I think the number one thing that makes me angry on the internet is gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay for Jerry Seinfeld to have ASD as well. Like, it's okay.
I know. How does that hurt your butthole?
Exactly. The world's a big place.
Oh, this is so true, Kilroy. I'd rather live in a simple house, less property, taxes, and bills, 100%. And yes, internet drama is so weird. And Liz concurs.
That's what
I'd rather travel instead of have a fair.
That's what happened in the group I used to hang out with. After they got done destroying everyone, they just started destroying each other.
Yeah. Let's pinky swear to never let that happen. Or if we do, can we just like silently ignore each other and just like
I like how you see, but the thing is like I underestimated, I don't even know how to say this. Not everybody is on the level, and I am the kind of person who will all hang out with anybody, so I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You know that you cannot be friends with everyone. I'm a Care Bear. I want to give the world a hug. It's never going to happen. You know? Yeah. Never going to happen, you know? So I learned. I got burnt.
And I just don't put up with bullshittery. I don't have time for that. Internet's my fun place. My day job causes me enough bullshit.
Thank you. And that's another thing. Like, you are not allowed to ruin my happy place. Like, I don't know about anywhere else, but like here in LA, if there was ever a more neutral place, it's the dispensary. I see people from different gang members from different neighborhoods, people wearing different colors. Everyone's like, oh, no, excuse me. Oh, no, excuse me. Like, you have no reason to be angry because you're at the dispensary.
You're leaving with your happy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Sleepy, happy, hungry. Those are the only side effects.
Except for the random folks who get paranoid, or the kids who are like doing dabs and the too much of like the ultra concentrated stuff that like that's not the flower I knew.
But dabs to me, and I hate to be that guy, it's a controlled substance.
Yeah.
I love that damn Pepsi song. Now I have it stuck in my head.
I'm so picky. Oh, thanks, Liz. You're so thoughtful. God,
I've lived a world of strife. I just don't see a point of being angry all the time, you know, or judging people.
Right? It's just not thermodynamically favorable.
Well, I judge, but like I'll hang out with, I don't know, it's weird. Like if you're dangerous, I won't hang out with you. If you're like hurting others, like that's how I judge. But if you're just quirky, like we all are, like I'm super quirky.
I know. If I didn't hang out with quirky people, I would do what I always did, which is like hang out by myself with nobody.
My predecessor used to always say that he didn't trust anyone who didn't smoke or drink, but like for me, it's you have to have a sense of humor, and like the list is longer than just vices.
Right. I know. All right, we did Afro Man.
I can't. Oh, there was something else. I still can't believe. Do you know? It scares me how if you stick to, and I'm not trying to get all rah American on you, but if you stick to the Constitution, we would all leave each other alone. You have the right to do whatever you want. Don't hurt people. Blah 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 blah. Like the cops don't come in your house for any reason. I'm not saying this to be mean, but like, and you know, we teach every generation. This generation of cops don't even know the law of the country they're in.
Right? Did the Kings just score?
No, no, that's my I am super tapped. I have a ring
Oh, you have
doorbell.
one of the Aura Ring? Oh, you got one of the Ring cameras. Never mind.
So when you sign up for a Ring camera, it tells you if we catch anything on there, you like basically you're a part of their network. So like I got
Was it
into it with somebody.
cops wanted to try to buy everybody a ring so that they could like inadvertently search with because they were paying the bills. They were like, "Here, we will do this for you, but not tell you that we own you now."
Ring is so bad. Like Ring will say, like, why are there cops on blah 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 blah? And then someone will be like, I didn't type that. It's their Ring going on, it's Ring going on their account and saying, okay, because it was I got it from this camera,
This, oh
we're gonna
god,
say why are the cops on this in this street? Oh yeah,
no thanks.
oh yeah. It's lit. Like on a Saturday night, my phone's going off all the time.
Oh, being a dick is like living on hard mode. I agree, Kilroy. I'm more quirk than jerk. Oh, that's cute, Liz.
That's a t-shirt. I like that.
I am surprised you didn't build your own ring. That was for you, not me. I'm not that mechanically engineered skilled.
I'll tell you honestly, Caroline, I was curious. And then
Battery low. Hold on a second. I can't have this happening.
my doorbell died. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a ring and see what happens. It wasn't until I went on their terms of services did I realize that you're giving away the right to your front door, basically. No, you're not giving away your right. They're basically saying if we catch anything on this camera, we're gonna put it on the news or our commercial or which if you really think about it, like if you go to a place like Atlantic City or Las Vegas, you're basically signing away your rights as well. Like you're on camera everywhere you go. Everywhere. Or if you're like anywhere near a World Trade Center here in LA, like it said they have signs that say, "Hey, anywhere you go near here, you're on camera." So I think because I'm desensitized to that, I'm like, okay, I'll get a ring. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I feel like I'm searched and tagged enough. I just can't do it.
Have you do you watch American Horror Story?
Not in a hot minute.
So I haven't either. I stopped watching it with the Lady Gaga one. But the season before that, it was the apocalypse, okay? And like all these nukes are going off, and these feds come to this guy's house and they're like, all right, your DNA says that you're blah 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 blah. We've selected you to go in the bunker. And the guy was like, how did you know that? And he was like, you did a 23andMe.
Oh god, yeah, I'm scared to do those too.
At that very moment, I was sitting in the room with my mother, and we both said the F word at the same time. We were like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, if Mama says it, then you know.
No, because we'd both taken tests, and we were like, "Uh-oh." My aunt would always say, like, they're gonna clone you, and I was like, hey. If they want to clone my crummy lungs, if you want to clone my bad health, go right ahead.
I dare you. I just don't like that they sell your information to pharmaceutical companies, and I don't trust what they're doing with it. And I am not 100% sure that if they find like with the chronic disease profiling that they're doing, if it may or may not affect your ability to get life insurance if something pops on it.
I'll tell you, they had to pass laws so people like me don't get dropped off of health insurance.
Yeah.
So I can see how that's a problem. Blue Cross Blue Shield, I signed up, they sent me my money back. Within 2 months, they were like, nope, you're uninsurable because you were honest on I'm an asthmatic who smokes. They were like, you're uninsurable. Get out of here.
Oh, that's true. This is why I don't go to Walmart either, Kilroy. And yes, I agree. You won't do 23andMe. I'm happy being clueless about my ancestry. Yep. I know enough from family stories. It would be cool to see if I was like had some Mongol in me, but
We
it's not worth it that much to me.
technically, like, everybody, depending on how far back you want to go, almost everybody is kind of Mongol, depending on what's like. That's just a part of the history that the history book they kind of skip past, that the Mongols like ruled for a very long time.
Yes, and they rampaged where my family lived during certain parts of time. So yeah.
I mean, look at Russia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's my peeps.
like,
We got run over by everybody.
I knew I had a family member who professionally cuts hair,
Okay. Oh, I
and
need you.
5 years ago he went to Russia, and he was treated like a rock star because they countries love they hate Americans, but they love our subcultures.
Yeah.
They love goths and
Oh,
rappers,
like
and
they
they love.
used to like import or all the blackmail Levi jeans. Not blackmail.
I made money selling all my old Nintendo stuff to
Black
people in
market.
Japan.
Exactly. They love the rockabilly 1950s aesthetics.
Oh yeah. So my cousin, who kind of weirdly looks like Nipsey Hussle, but it's the light skin, the beard, and the hair.
Yeah.
He went there and he was shocked on how many people were non-Caucasian in Russia.
Oh, right.
You know, he
Yep.
was shocked, and I tried to tell him, like, dude, like, look at a map.
Right. Could you go like the Kazakhstan,
Yep.
Uzbekistan? It's part of Slavic countries, but they look so Asian in their features also.
Very much so, to the point where like, he was shocked. He was shocked when he went there, and he was like, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like, my pops used to always talk about it in war. Like, they would sink a ship and turn around and pick up all the people because they didn't,
Yep.
they were there for people. It's a humanitarian thing. Like, it's countries who hate each other. It's not necessarily the people.
Yep.
It's the quote unquote adults in charge. Ooh, in America, we have.
Oh,
we have
that's another wait. What if this whole like banking debacles and the this whole I don't know, the central bank digital currency frightens me because I'm afraid I will have no money based on the social currency system.
Oh, the social credit score. That's why I'm hoarding. I'm gonna create the underground economy. I'm ready. I speak 2 languages. Don't mess with a bootlegger. You start messing with the currency. I'm down to barter.
Right?
I am totally down to barter. I know how to grow food.
Right. As long as I've got enough water to do it, I can be self-sufficient. It's the water that's my issue.
Gilroy, that is one of my favorite quotes of all time. On Battlestar Galactica, they're having this argument, and Colonel Ty is like, if you go far enough back in history, some amoeba gets blamed for splitting in 2. Like, no matter how far back you go, you can just pass the blame,
Yeah.
I love that line. I'm debating if I should take the head off of this or if I've defluffed it enough. My sewing machine was telling me, like, you're neglecting me because it was throwing stitches.
Uh-huh.
But I do massive amounts of projects,
Right. How many fluffy things have you've been sewing blankets? You should take the head off and defluff in there too.
You're right. I'm being lazy. You're
It
right.
depends on what you've been sewing. If it's like stuff that the fabrics that get fluffy and leave problems, and then those that don't. And
I've been dealing with felt too because I'm obsessed with hats right now. I'm obsessed.
yeah, so do a job right now, and then you'll be happier later. That you'll be happy tomorrow that you took the time.
And I annoyingly tell Isaiah, like, if you do something, I'm big about fundamentals. So if you do it right the
Right.
first time, you don't have, there's no troubleshooting involved after.
Exactly. Yeah, it's time. Sorry I'm slow with the chat. I'm actually have stuff I'm trying to sew. I finished these. Well, I'd say I finished, but that's a lie. These pants are just about done. Let me make myself big for a second. I'm gonna take up the whole screen. They're done. Popped in eyelets so that I can tie them up the front, and then this is the little like front codpiece thing that's gonna cover up the laces, and I'm gonna put some faux buttons or maybe real buttons. I haven't decided yet. I haven't gotten to that part yet. Liz likes bootleg economy and Kilroy. If they ever do social credit banking system, they're gonna basically give a blank check to the black market and organized crime. Yup.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna be godless sewing. I'm gonna be godless sewing the
That shitty work out of my way first. Go ahead. Oh,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I will become a warlord. And I'm a real life pirate. Oh, my chair is breaking. Oh, so sad. Oh,
after all that time you took to recover it and the guts are falling out. The mechanics.
Oh no. Maybe that. Nope, it's broken.
Shit.
It's rocking. It's rocking. At least we have the moment it broke on
we've documented it, yes.
Forever.
I don't know how I feel about people clipping, but you can clip that part later and just send me the link, please.
You know what's funny? I've never clipped before. Ever. I've clipped on my own. I feel weird ripping off of other people's streams, even if I'm on it.
Fair. I know. Yeah, that goes into why I keep promising Liz and everybody hoop videos, because it just seems like too much time editing. And I know how I would much rather edit video than pictures, or like to make my thumbnails prettier, but gotta cut. Oh, Kilroy's fat shaming you here. Gotta cut down on the Crisco.
Never. It's ironic. Because I was a bachelor last night, I laughed at myself. I made fish sticks with Crisco.
You just need to put them in the freaking air fryer. They do not need any extra Crisco. Oh, that is disgusting.
Oh, so good. They were so good. Oh, they were. And then I forgot I didn't have any sour cream. So like a bachelor, I got in my car with the food cooked and everything. I went to my grocery. I bought a tub of sour cream. So
you can mix it with pickles for tartar sauce. Oh.
I weirdly buy tartar sauce every year around Lent because
oh right, for Friday fish fry at the Rainbow Grill.
They got sales around here because everyone's Catholic, everyone's religious around here. So like during Ramadan, they'll sell certain things. During like LA cares. So the fish is on sale this time of year.
Exactly. Killer, yes. I don't even know how to clip. Actually, there's a button on YouTube that says just like clip, or if you have YouTube Premium, you can download stuff and then clip certain parts. Yeah, there is ways in YouTube and outside of YouTube. Oh, Liz also hates video editing. There's some funny faces about Crisco fish sticks. Don't kill Liz. She's dead from Crisco fish sticks. Yeah, I'm crying myself a little bit because the air fried is just fine with me.
I'm weirdly allergic to a lot of things, but in the old school food, it's really simple. So I'm not allergic to it. So I stick with the things but it will eventually give me heart disease or kill me. So please do not take any medical or
no medical, legal, financial, election fornication, financial, crypto. We are here for entertainment and the laughs, which is why we're at the circus. And I put my clown face on today because
I got my rodeo clown.
it.
I'm a
Yes,
rodeo.
we are rodeo clowns and real clowns.
Do you know what's really funny? I watch a lot of rodeos. Like, I like the way they dress with those giant chaps, and like, I would totally, like, not every day, without the makeup, but I like those
Right?
weird shirts and like.
Yeah, there's so much. Okay, Kilray, we might have to disagree here on this one. Tartar sauce, equal parts Miracle Whip and sweet relish. I'm glad you like it. The Miracle Whip I can like is palatable, kind of, but I am a dill relish, dill pickles, sweet pickles. I cannot stand them.
Is today the day? Do you know what's really funny? I should have picked up that chair I saw on the side of the road, because I was like, I bet the wheels work on that.
Today's the day.
No, my chair died. I'm sentimental and dramatic. Like, oh,
Oh, fewer chemicals, but still not the healthiest. It's
That's-
fair, absolutely. That's
Liz
like my
knows.
grandma's favorite chocolate frosting recipe, which was Nestle's quick powder with margarine, and you just mix it until it's creamy and well blended.
Oh, that sounds excellent.
It was, especially
Oh.
because the rest of the recipe is matzah dipped for like a hot second in Manischewitz, and then you put it on a plate, layer it with the frosting, and then rinse and repeat until you get to the top layer and put the little circle sprinkles on top. Passover food. Oh, I should make some because Passover is coming up.
Why are you not broken yet? Husqvarna makes dependable machines. I'm over here smashing pieces off.
Oh,
Good. I'm surprised this isn't broken. Good grief.
oh, oh, killer. Good. I'll have to try that. That sounds like a good frosting. You want to eat everything awesome. It is. It sounds super. It's actually really nice, and it's like the only way that Manischewitz is palatable.
Oh, we had this conversation. Manischewitz is so gross.
But in matzah cake, it's the best. And I don't know any other like Orthodox Jewish family. Like, I know my grandma didn't make it up, but nobody else, none of the other Jews I know make it. So it was like a novelty, but it is really good. Oh, so good. Why won't you turn? I made the hole too little. I'm like pulling this triangle piece out.
Oh, my chair is a lowrider. This is me leaning on a board chair. Oh, I so should have picked up that chair on the side of the road. I'm mad now.
I know, because if you went back now, somebody else probably already ginked it.
And like, I have a neighbor that's moving, and they weirdly put a ton of stuff on the street. I was driving by, and my conscience was like, you don't need any of this stuff over there.
Except for that thing I really did need in retrospect.
But after I dropped him off, I came back and I looked. I really don't need any of this stuff. Like, even today, like I was saying earlier at the swap meet, I went with full intention. I came with a pocket full of cash. I bought 2 shirts. I spent $2. And it was $2 to get in, so I spent $4.
Oh, Liz, you're too funny. Low rider, a little slow, yes. And you've never had Manischewitz. You're not missing anything, but I would get a tiny bottle if you want to make matzah cake grandma style. You'll use it for the cake and then pour the rest of it down the drain.
So I have a question. And I was going to say this earlier, but like, where you live, is the service industry going downhill, or am I just a Karen? Because I can't talk trash about generations, because we are the ones that teach the younger generation. When someone's like, oh, this generation, like, they didn't pop out of thin air, dude. Like, we teach them,
Yeah,
you know?
No, I think it's true, because I think so. But I mean, I hardly have to interact with the service industry because my human may or may not do my might do the household shopping, so I don't have to leave the house more than I need to.
Oh, I wish.
But
I wish.
I know. Yeah, it is the benefits of having a 2 adult household. And the only restaurant we randomly eat at is staffed by folks who are our age or older, so there's still like sweet diner ladies.
I love that. I love that. Everybody needs a Marge. Everybody needs a good Marge in their town.
It is. Killer. This is a good description. On stream. No, there we go. This one. Manischewitz is basically Welch's grape juice plus yeast. Yes.
So true. So
You're welcome. The easiest cake recipe you will ever make. And it keeps in the fridge. No baking. I would like put it in the fridge for 45 minutes so that the margarine can reharden and not be too soft, but it spreads like a dream.
Oh gosh, you reminded me of the time that my brother domesticated my family and taught us how to make our own Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yum.
Still to this day, I will make a full sheet of it, and people are like, "You're a magician." I'm like, "I just melted chocolate."
I didn't even temper it. I didn't even do the best.
I just put the peanut butter down and melted the chocolate.
Exactly. I know. Sweet diner ladies are the best.
I still eat at Greasy Spoons, so those people do exist, but
Yep.
because people don't smoke as much, you don't get the smoky Marge though. They're like, "Hey, how's it going?"
No. Oh,
I grew up with that generation. Like I used to
Yep.
go to what's called Lost Patrol meetings with my pops. I would sit in a room with 30 adults smoking, and the doors would be closed with no fans.
I know that. Oh, the good old days.
And I'm a real acute asthmatic who smoked. Like, please do not take any medical advice from Godless.
No, we're just here for the lulz. But hopefully to not get a Kiwi Farms page and be a real lol cow. Unless people feel I'm infamous that much, then I'll take it. Whatever.
Okay, so what I was gonna say about the service industry is that like maybe it's because when I went out in the real world, I realized really quick I needed to pay my own bills. So I literally scrubbed toilets for Carl's Jr. I started off as the guy handing out food. I worked at Hollywood forever, digging graves because I was the only person who knew how to drive a tractor. I think are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I thought you kicked out for a second.
I hope not. Wouldn't that be my luck though? Because I keep thinking I might have to get a new laptop because I can't hardwire this one in because I just can't do it.
I had to when I started streaming, I bought this. I had to get a new computer because the one next to me, it just couldn't take it.
I know, we're getting there.
And like these streaming services, they take a lot of information too. Like StreamYard kills your phone.
I don't try to stream off my phone. Killer Ray service workers in my area are about the same age as they were a few years ago. And yes, I eat 90% at diners, Greasy Spoons, and can't beat the food from those places. The other 10% is Chinese places. Yes, absolutely. Though I have a friend who's from the northern part of India who has been known to drive 6 hours to bring home food.
Wow.
Yeah. There's not a lot of it is he godless grave digger. He really misses his mama's cooking or whatever helper he had at his household growing up. And he does know how to cook for himself, but also, drove 6 hours to get food one time and will frequently drive 3. But I didn't think driving like that for food was worth it until I ate the food and I was like, oh, I get it. I would, if there was a Polish restaurant that had pierogies, I might drive 3 hours to go eat there.
I drove to Arizona to go to the Heart Attack Grill. I
Did
literally,
you?
I saw it on the Travel Channel. I looked at my ex-wife. I was like, "How bored are you?" And she's like, "All right, let's go." We put
I
Isaiah
thought
in the car, and we went. Oh yeah, but I have family out in Arizona. But yeah, and when we went there, we told them like we drove all the way from Southern California.
just to
They,
eat.
well, they treated us like gold. I even went to the one in Vegas.
Right? Because that's the only one I thought I knew of.
The original was in Arizona, and then they got famous from being on Diners, Dives, and Drives, and they opened up one in Vegas. And it's true, if you weigh over 300 pounds, you eat for free.
Oh God, no thanks. Please. I've told my human if I ever look like that much of a McMuffin, then just hand me the piece and be done with me. Like, don't.
I always say, take me out behind a shed like Benji or.
Right. I mean, okay, we'll be honest. I've been overweight, but never crossed the 200-pound obese marker, and I think I would like hate myself. And I'm okay with saying those words.
I
Oh, but I
can't.
do love a good diner.
My lungs won't allow me to be overweight. Like my body, like can't take the weight.
Yeah. I love the diners where the waitresses are a little rough around the edges. I hate the places where they're too ultra polished. Oh, Liz, thank you. Right, this little schmata. Oh,
You
my
would love
schmata.
in LA. I didn't know it was a thing, but I saw this thing on Twitter about how rude LA waitresses are. You know, it's so funny. In my mind, I'm like, they're the nicest people on earth. They're just a little bohemian here.
They're just a little less conventional than the 4-star Michelin or the Michelin restaurants.
I don't even know. You probably know where it is too. I went to this like fancy place when I was in the Phoenix area,
Yeah.
and it was like dressed down but fancy.
Oh, the
You
one on the
know,
99 that had the bakery attached to it.
I can't remember because that was in my drinking days.
Okay.
And like I didn't while I was there, I didn't drive a minute because I was enjoying all the
Drink the
IPAs
Oregon
and all the.
finest.
That's one thing and everywhere else, like I live in a super commercial place, so we get all like the commercial stuff here, you know.
Oh, Liz, I'm sure you look fabulous in your security guard outfit. All right, if you're gonna
Absolutely.
BRB, then keep 911 and then us on speed dial on your second phone.
I gotta remember that lady's name. There was a oh my gosh, remind me of a story. But there was a woman I knew who was she's one of the head sheriffs in Multnomah County. Because I worked
Okay.
literally like 2 blocks from it. And because I was no nonsense, she just liked my attitude. But really, it's just I didn't put up with anyone's gruff. I was 25 and I thought I was tough.
Yep.
So,
Fair.
and this is not bragging. This is me just saying what happens in
You
my
can humble
life.
brag. It's okay.
And it's happened more than 5 or 6 times. And I'm not counting. Today, a young lady walks up to me and she's like, "Hi, how's it going?" And I say hi and I tell them my real age. And they thank me for being honest and they walk away. Something about 20-year-olds, they love me. It's because I dress like I'm not my age, you know?
Well, no, no, we dress our age. It's just that what we loved as little kids has come back in style, and the Gen Zers think it's cute, and we're like, oh, this is so old, kid. This is the second coming of neon.
My mom told me, she's like, "Oh, you dress like a cool lesbian." I was like, "Get out of here. Get out of here now."
You do not. What type? You're not. Is there some like butch cowboy lesbian subculture
Yes.
that I'm not aware? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my keys. It's because I wear my work keys everywhere because I'm on call.
Yeah.
And I dress like the school janitor. Let's be real, okay? We're flannels, like this is like my Sunday best
Here's
right
something
here.
fine. We're going to not church today, kids. The church of sewing.
Well, I had to go to work, and it just happened. I was like, all right, if I'm up this early, I'm going to swap meet. Like, I'm gonna
Right.
go to the swap meet.
I
But
miss
this young lady walked up to me and was like, "Oh, hi, I like your vest." I'm like, "Thank you so much. I literally can be your parent." And I am one of those people where I don't think I could relate to a 19 or 20-year-old.
No, but wouldn't that be weird too? Because that's closer in age to your kid than it is to you.
My ex-wife would be like, "Bro," she's so rude. She would walk up to me and be like, "Are you serious? Are you do you need help right now?"
Right. Are you trying to pick up a girlfriend for you or the kid?
Like, it's just weird to me. I just
Oh, Killer Ray has you pegged. The pickup truck is a lie. He actually drives a Subaru. Actually, that may or may not be me.
It's actually it's bold. I drive a Ford Flex and a truck. Oh my. Oh, go ahead. I'm about to go off.
Okay, well, we'll get back here. I miss the swap meets too. I was gonna say earlier, Killer Ray, that I grew up going to the antique mall shows with my grandparents, so I learned how to like wrap glass and price Blue Willow and like get the books
Oh,
and put the
wow.
stickers for all the figures and things. I miss those things.
I actually have a ton of Blue Willow because my father was a hoarder.
Oh,
In my entry hall, I have a ton of Blue Willow, and at my mom's house, she has just cabinets and cabinets and cabinets of Blue Willow.
it is some of my favorite. I need more, but it's hard to. I don't go to the Goodwill often enough. Why am I crackly to myself? Yeah,
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
you were gonna go off on something before we disrupted you.
Well, I weirdly listened to Rah Rah Rasputin before, like the original version, so it's just in the background because
Yep.
I had no idea it was like a soul song from
I
the.
know all the cultural amalgamation of. I was like, wait, none of you are Russian or Indian.
I said these are black people.
I was like, you're dark, you're people of color. I thought, oh,
Because I'm obsessed with disco music, like early 80s, like you see it in my videos. I play Shalimar and like all
right?
that early 80s stuff. I had no idea these guys were on the level. They're the kind of people I would be listening to. And so my phone was like, you'll like these guys. And I looked and I was like, they sing the rah rah rah. I don't even know the name of the song. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think it's Rah Rah Rasputin. I know Booney M. Because the only version, my first introduction to that song was a parody with a cartoon of Putin dancing shirtless. So I thought they were white guys. I didn't
Mine
know.
was Lennon. Mine was Lennon because I have a hard on for Lennon. There's a rah-rah, there's a version of that song with Lennon dancing where they basically resurrect him in a laboratory.
Oh, funny. Oh, maybe that is the same version, that cartoon version I'm thinking of. But yeah, too silly. Okay, speaking of other tech stuff, did you hear about this new CNN article that says if you're a white person and you do a meme or a gif of a black person, you might be participating in digital blackface? And what the hell does that even mean?
Hold on, let me point. Get out. All that needs to go. People are paying like, okay, it shocks me how someone will pay myopic attention to that, but they'll walk past a homeless person, or they'll like your fellow human. There's all kind of other things that you could be doing besides putting people under a microscope for what meme they're posting.
Right? Because that one with Dave Chappelle wiping white powder off his nose is a classic.
Oh my gosh, I saw this like of course it was Black Twitter. This lady did a line and then she was dumb enough to do like she was on a live and she was rambling. Her nose was white. I mean, her entire, and they were like, come get your grandma. They were like, come get your grandma. I was laughing way too hard.
Oh God, it's confectionery. It's confectioner sugar. Really, I
Oh,
swear. Oh, but that
you
would
know,
still hurt.
I feel weird. Like I'll reshoot a take if my pipe is in the shot, or if like I'm weird about that, and everyone knows I puff. Like etiquette, man. Etiquette. Like my predecessor used to always say, like, I don't judge you for doing drugs. I judge you if you can't handle your drugs you're on. Oh.
Yeah, no, Kilroy. They weren't yanking your chain. It is that damn stupid. I couldn't believe it. You're right, Godless. Twitter is international waters.
I told you Twitter is, and I don't, it's because I'm addicted to grief porn. Like, I get people fighting and like, all like, I can't stop watching these stupid
Better than
videos.
revenge porn.
I think that's so evil. I think that is so evil. If someone tries, I'm choking. I think it's evil. If someone trusts you to send you a picture, or you have a mutual trust where you make a video and then you break up and you share that video, I don't believe in hell, but there's a special place in hell for you.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Like,
No.
no.
Who actually watches those videos of themselves afterwards? Like, wouldn't you want to watch somebody else?
Yes.
Like, I don't want to watch myself.
I know what I look like. I know I need cardio. I would watch that and be like, oh God, you need cardio, kid. Like, I would be critiquing myself.
Good for your heart and lungs. Oh, I'm not in the right angle. I used to be able to do this better. Cardio, 150 minutes per week, not medical advice.
That's why I still skate. Like, one of my neighbors was like, really? Because he saw me on my skates with my hockey stick. He's like, you're old, right? And I'm like, hey man, this is my cardio. Don't judge me.
Exactly. What are you doing that's good for your heart?
Oh yeah. That's why people they're shocked when they find out my age. I still can't believe that nearsighted young lady walked up to me.
Oh.
And it's confirmed. It is confirmed. And I'm going to say it on here because I know she's not watching. My Irish friend that I was in a band with, she found me because I was wearing a Godless Sewing vest at Walmart. That's how she found my Instagram page. Kilroy, I agree. Anxiety attacks are my cardio as well.
I'm so sorry. Oh, Benadryl is my friend. Because can we go down one of the mechanisms of anxiety is excess histamine reactions? This is our learning part of this. Not that we're here to learn anything.
Oh no, I'm taking notes as Captain Anxiety on the teeth biting team. We need to hear this one.
Yeah, no. So sometimes some folks. So we'll just run down the rabbit hole. There's a thing called. There's a family of inherited connective tissue differences called Ehlers-Danlos that we can get to if you're in that ballpark of connective tissue things. If you can lift your pinky up more than 90 degrees, this one is fun. If we bend our thumb touches on the inside. No, hold your hand up, bend your wrist so your fingers are facing your forearm. Take one hand, take the thumb of the opposite arm, and put your thumb in towards your forearm.
This is why I didn't join the military.
Oh, you can see it. Thumb touches inside. And your elbows hyperextend. And you can touch the floor without bending your knees. And I would show it, but you wouldn't be able to see. Plus, you hyperextend your knees, and your skin layer is super stretchy. And some folks can disconnect their joints on command. So
I am freakishly. I have weird parts. I have a bone spur, and it freaks people out. Do you want to see it? It's on my wrist. but it freaks people out.
Oh, yes, you do.
I have
Hello,
heavy
bone
bones.
growth.
And I have them on my I have huge ones on my feet as well.
Yeah. So part of that condition is a whole host of other things that make you look terrible on paper. And some of it is like problems with allergies or super itchy skin because the allergy cells in your body, the mast cells that contain your little histamine granules, are overly sensitive. But histamine not only causes the classic like heart racing and skin itching, but those sensations can also cause anxiety. So sometimes, if that's part of your picture of anxiety, then having a antihistamine doesn't necessarily like knock you out and sedate you, but it might bring you from like here down to like normal, or not. We're just educating here, YouTubes. If you have a history of super low blood pressure and you're super anxious, at some point you're going to end up with high blood pressure. And it's not necessarily a water salt kidney problem. You may be better off looking at a beta blocker such as propranolol. Just educational stuff. All right, I'm tired. We've educated too much today and not sewn enough. Oh, I know, Killer Ray, you've got those ankle spurs too, and you can't wear boots because of it. That is a crying shame because boots are hot.
Tell me that I'm sitting in a room of sewing machines and I don't need to buy another one.
You do not need to buy another sewing machine.
No,
what are you
because
looking at buying?
my husky's getting tired, and this is a reoccurring problem. I can no longer use the bobbin winder on it because it's I don't think these machines were made for someone like me. Like I'm an everyday sewer. I destroy sewing machines.
Yeah, so
And
I mean,
like,
if it's just a bobbin winder, is that you've got how many other machines that can wind bobbins for you?
oh no, I'm gonna replace. I'm gonna
I was like, can you
That's
just
why I'm
replace
kind
the
of
motor
sad
on
right
that?
now. I'm going through the grieving process because this was the first machine where I walked in the retailer. I was like, I'm established in my life, and I actually paid full price for this. And so part of me is is grieving for this machine because I use it for everything.
Okay, now you're being horde shamed by Kilroy. You need to buy a shipping container and park it in your yard if you're going to keep buying sewing machines.
That's not too far from the truth.
Your neighbors, what's this eyesore?
I bought one of those fancy, weird, like Art Deco tin sheds and I didn't put it together because we actually had a winter this year.
Right.
So when the weather's good, I bought this like really fancy shed. But what's going to happen is I'm going to take everything I don't want in this room or in the other room. I'm going to put it in there. And then it's for a lack of a better term, it's the hole effect. No matter how big the hole you have, you throw more stuff into it, you know?
Yeah, I think I challenge you before you put together your new shed that you go to your storage unit and debulk 25% of it.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Just not all of it, just a quarter. Maybe let's just make it an eighth.
You know what's so funny? Like you just reminded me, like every weekend I tell myself, I'm going to the storage, and then I go there and I open the door and I'm like, I'm going home.
Right. So just set the bar really low. You don't need to do all of it. You just need to start thinking about some of it.
I was oh, that's such a Star Trek line. Nature abhors a vacuum. That is literally from is it No Country for Old Men? No, I'm so sorry. Undiscovered Country. I wish Star Trek was that hardcore.
Well, it's also the laws of thermodynamics that, and it's more entropy likes chaos. It's easier to maintain chaos than it is order in the world of thermodynamics and entropy laws.
All right, guy. Let's pull out the Genome and see how that goes.
All
Aw,
right. I almost
poor.
done.
Do you know what's so sad is that like my Janome, my Husqvarna Viking, and my Baby Lock all take the same cord because they're probably all made in the same factory.
Right. Well, that's helpful.
Poor guy, you're a workhorse. I'm kind of sad.
I know you
Stupid,
almost need like an
stupid
industrial machine for the amount of sewing, but hello, sweet husky. We loves you.
I'm thinking about, and that's the thing. I'm thinking about investing in a real like hardcore machine because I keep on getting advertisements for different types of machines, and I'm like, well, or like I have my eye out for the old brother industrials, but people know what they have when they see them because they're so much larger than a normal machine.
Yeah.
So even people who don't know what they have, they're like, I want $600 for it.
And they're probably worth it in asking, right? I don't have the real estate for a machine that large.
And that's another thing because of my obsessive habits. I've had to stop buying tables.
Right. Oh, yes, like the old baby shoes, you're gonna have to bronze your husky.
I have real plans of like the shelf of sewing machines of the past, and that's just gonna go on it.
Yes.
Because I have a few machines that I call wall hangers where they just were not no, they were.
You could just throw, if they're that bad and you can't use them for parts, you can just throw them out. Unless they're like unless they've got some special like this is the only model of this version that they ever produced for
Once
like some
a year
catalog reason.
You're right. No, you're right. Once a year. And I'm almost to that point because it just recently was pointed out to me that in a video a year ago, I gave away over 300 something shirts to charity.
Yeah.
And I need to do that again. That's how many shirts, that's how much clothes I have in the middle bedroom.
Of doom.
Oh, I've been cleaning that room for the past 2 weeks. That's why you'll see like I'll rediscover a shirt and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this shirt.
Right. I have to do that too and make sure that my summer clothes from last year still fit, because that's the beauty of when you sew with wovens and made to measure. I have to make sure that I stay the same size so that my clothes fit. It's good weight loss or like body composition maintenance.
That's real. I know how much I've either gained or lost throughout the year, depending on certain shirts.
Right, what fits and what's going to pop a button.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time.
But I think I took off enough from this new blue corset that it is going to fit so I can have a cute blue riding ensemble with these riding pants. Do I have... Oh, I've got pictures for those who didn't see aren't on the Instagrams. Let me... Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
I can't believe those were people of color.
All right, let's make me big for a minute. I take up the whole screen. Look at how beautiful those pants turned out. Hey, camera, where are you? Oh, I love them. They're so swishy and danceable fun.
Yay!
Now, once I just get the full front piece on there, all attached, we are good to go. And I think I'm going to use... Oh, stop being funny noisy. I think that's going to be my So Frugal, because I used the Mood Fabrics dogwood ensemble pants that I altered to make them fit me, because their ladies' pants piece patterns are made for giants. And the tapering was all wrong. I was like, what
So
is wrong with this?
When you say giants, do you mean height-wise?
Yes.
Yes, I know there are certain clothes I've had to learn that like with certain things I'm a extra large, other things I'm a medium. Like who is 6'9" that is making clothes? I want to meet that person.
Right. They're made for Kilroy.
I bought this one pattern, and I'll show you. Like the paper is larger than me, and I'm like, no, what did I do? Did I cut it wrong?
Right.
What did I do?
Yeah, that's the free patterns, or I need to go back through my rabbit hole of reading antique drafting manuals, partly because they don't make any sense and they're so odd. But I just drafter. I've been using the Closet Historian stuff and making my own like sloper pieces because nothing fits right.
Maybe I round the bobbin wrong.
That would do it. Or did you put it in backwards?
It's crooked.
Ah.
Maybe
Well, it's clean now, and now you've done all this work and you've diagnosed the actual problem.
Well, I switched machines too, so we're gonna find out if it.
All right.
That's why whenever I find a good machine, I always say like, "Oh, this is a backup machine," because I do lots of I do need an industrial machine. I kill sewing machines.
Yeah. I don't, but I think my answer to that is this beautiful white rotary because she's a beast with no motor to kill.
That's another thing.
My arm gives out.
I've been driving around with the wrought iron of the Singer wrought iron in my truck for like a month now. I need to take that thing out. Well, no, it's my shell cover is so complicated to get into. No one's stealing it.
Right. And who wants it, really? Like, only
Like,
weirdos like us would be like, ooh, wrought iron from a Singer machine.
It's funny you would say that, because when I went to the swap meet today, I was walking away and I'm like, no one but me would care. So
I think that was true. I think he wore out the bobbin.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope that's the problem.
I mean, if they're like my thimbles, I've kind of squished some of them a little bit horizontal so that they are a little awkwardly shaped now.
I did not notice how trashed it was. Oh, this doesn't have a needle. That would help.
We're just going through the whole litany of sewing problems. Poor bobbin, put in backwards, no needle. Am I gonna run out of stuff to sew? No, never. I'm at the point of this that I kind of actually need to press my seams open. My iron is in the other room.
I'm like,
I'm afraid I'll blow the electrics if I plug it in right now.
Do you know what's funny? Like, I told myself, like, dude, you need a break. You sew too much. And here, my machine was like telling me, like, no, take a break, because I made my blanket. I don't even know what to call it. I'm gonna put it on in a minute.
Okay. Your Sherpa vest, your Sherpa outfit.
I found this beautiful blanket, which is behind me. You can see it over my shoulder. I am so bad in directions on YouTube.
Oh, me too.
Which is actually my left. Oh, my right. That's my right. I'm using my left point. It's because I'm weirdly left-handed, and like I point with my left. It's strange.
No, it's not. They thought that there was something wrong with me in like first grade because I still hadn't decided what hand I was going to write with.
So
and I still living ambidextrous.
Social experiment wise, I never told my son that he was right or left-handed, and he uses both.
Right?
I think as humans, like, we do what we're told as kids. You know, I was told like you're right-handed, so you have to use your right hand, so I did. You know.
It was way nice in school when I had to take notes. When one hand got tired, I'd just switch hands. What is happening?
Today is a not today bobbin kind of day, huh?
Yeah, or noticing when your machine gets unthreaded and you're like, why is this being tight and not sewing? Because you skipped all the holes somehow.
Okay.
Misadventures at the Stitch and Bitch today.
I think I and that's another thing. I do use the same things over and over and over. So I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't just kill the bobbin.
Squeezed it one too many times and pinched it out of shape.
But I have to know for my sanity if if it's me or the sewing machine right now, because you're about to hear a line from the Big Lebowski in a minute.
All right. Keep your ears peeled, kids.
One of my I say it all the time. I say F it, let's go bowling.
Yes.
All
Take
the time.
The skinheads bowling. Take them bowling.
That's when like I'm like, all right, I've given it my all, given it the college try. I'm over it. Let's see. This thing's gonna sound terrible. It's not oiled or anything. It's got the wrong foot in. It's not on.
Tech problem 101. Is it plugged in? Is it turned on?
I am literally that guy that gets everything ready. I stand at my car and I'm like, oh, I walked out without my car keys.
You mean your phone doesn't turn your car on for you?
Oh no, this guy's got
that
issues.
Doesn't sound right.
This guy's got issues too. I can tell right off the bat. Nope, today is a not today bobbin kind of day.
I was gonna say, even I am not that. I was like, that doesn't sound
well.
Right.
It's because this
Push
thing
the
has
bobbin
nothing.
and try it again.
On my Husky, I should.
No, get a new bobbin for the machine you're working on.
Oh no, I did, but
Okay.
this one hasn't been. This one hasn't been on in a long time.
That sounds marginally less horrible.
I bought this over 2 years ago, and it's sat here until every time I panic and I go looking for it.
Oh no, you had some property damage to report. That is poop. A big pile of poop, Liz.
Humans.
Right.
Can't live with them.
Can't live without them, those scallywags.
You know what? You are right, though. Let's see if it is the bobbin or if it's just time. If not, I'm going to pull out my Belvedere. I do need to take a break, though. Like, I sew so much where I'm like, it's ridiculous. I should be getting paid for as much as I sew.
But do you really want to have to sew for others to get paid to sew?
No, because the second it becomes a job, I'm out. The second.
Yeah, I know.
Because I still love what I do. I think about it all the time. Like I love the process. I love shopping for fabric. I love meeting people. You know, the shocked look on someone's face and they're like, "You sew?" I love that look.
Again with the ring.
I have it on ultra sensitive because people are constantly trying to buy my truck, and it's not the white one. I have a TARDIS blue 2002 F-150 that is a complete lemon that just sits in front of my house.
Okay.
And people notice that it sits in front of my house, and so they're constantly asking me to they're like, oh, can I buy it? And when I tell them the price, they're like, okay, I won't buy it. So I took the battery out, so someone tries to steal it.
Well, now it's not even so much the battery, it's that they're going around and stealing catalytic converters.
Oh yeah. And that's another thing, like, oh, don't come by my house.
And that's why Kilroy lives in the country. The city would be great if there weren't all of the people.
I
exactly.
say that all
Catch-22, because when it becomes a job, it takes the fun out of it. But then there's also the, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. But
true.
Yeah. I'd rather design and have other people sew, but I don't feel like I'm that talented and creative enough to be a designer. I just make what I like because I like it.
I think about that all the time. I'm like, can I be famous yet enough where people do it for me?
Right.
Because I watch a lot of famous designers and they haven't touched a sewing machine in 15 years, you know?
Right. I mean, when's the last time Christian Soriano sat at a sewing machine?
Exactly. I recently heard someone critiquing a fashion designer, though, and they were like, they don't know how to sew. I was offended for the fashion designer because this other person is just some geek on the internet, you know, and they don't know how hardcore it is to sew, you know.
Exactly. And It's not, unless you're first starting out, it's not the designer's job to do the sewing. They have cutters and drapers and drafters and sewers, and it's all specialized, like industrial not warehouse, but production line style that everybody does their one part really good, but nobody does all of it.
Exactly. I watch a lot of like Paris Week fashion. They do Versace has a team.
Yeah,
They have an army of people. I'm
right.
subscribed to the FF channel, and
Yes,
behind the scenes, there's an army of people there, you know?
exactly. Or like when they have the gowns with the fancy laces, they hire out a company that just makes lace, or somebody just puts in pleats. That's all they do is pleats things.
Oh,
I would never want to put that many pleats into an outfit. That's all I knew how to do. But it's so funny.
it was the bobbin. Oh my gosh, I almost chucked my machine. Okay,
Well, good.
you're
You
still
didn't.
you're still leader of the pack, Husky. You're still leader of the pack.
There's nothing
Oof.
supposed to be.
I panicked though, like a baby.
Yeah, you did.
Because
You're
this
like,
is
I
like
can't have a broken chair and a broken sewing machine in the same live stream.
to quote my boss from West Hollywood, this is effing Starbucks. We must have coffee at all times. Oh no, my machine's messing up though. There's something going on.
There are some days in the sewing room that it just feels like a giant shit show.
I'm gonna put this down and show off what I made. 'Cause I literally am sitting in a room.
Show off some wins instead of some
Yeah, my
depressing
super L.
And I'm just here sewing up the seams on this new corset. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to work on. Because the next part of this involves pressing open the seams so I can cut them to put in the flat felled seams. But look at that buffalo plaid duster, sleeveless duster.
I made this from a blanket.
Cute.
Let's
have a twirl.
I'm in love with my craftiness. Oh, I have to do my stance.
Right.
See, that's from watching way too much fashion. I do my pivot and everything.
Okay, I'll hold up the corset, Liz. Give me a second.
And I lined it. Okay, so what's the plural for moose? Meese?
No.
But it's lined with moose, with a moose pattern.
That is so cute.
I'm all about lining. Like every single one of my coats will have something personalized because I'm all about the lining.
Here's the corset, Liz, except for there's a couple of gores to put in still. There's half of it. The other half has got the what did that one girl say? The Pepsi tab part of the bust, and then the other part I'll put I can owl punch so I can get the little mushroom part through. I agree, Kilroy. The only reason I have an iron literally is for sewing, and I try to use it as little as possible until I was like, oh, it really does make a difference to use your pressing ham and your fake clapper and make nice presses. But, oh, does it? It's like fingers on a chalkboard pressing. How I hate it.
Ironing, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's a required evil.
It is a necessary evil.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things. Maybe if
there's absolutely no way around, which is why I put the front fall on my pants, but I need to press it to make it look nice before I stitch it on. I'm like in pressing hell right now, and that's my stand. I like batch everything and try to do all my pressing all at once.
Wow, you're brave. I have to space
I usually have clutter on my ironing table, so I have to move it. So I either move it once or I move it lots of times.
This is really cheesing me off. I need to leave Husky alone. I've made like 4 or 5 outfits. I've really been taxing this thing. Maybe that is like a true sign of panic when I pull out my Belvedere because I know that thing works.
Or I know you're on machine number 3. You're not having a great sewing day today. You'll have to get things figured out for tomorrow.
Oh, I was panicking. I was like freaking before the live stream started. Like I was having an adult meltdown, and then Chaos called me and like brought me, literally not even knowing, brought me back down to earth because I was in the stratosphere. I picked up the phone like, hello. And in the end, I was like, thank you so much for calling me. You actually helped me out. Thank you so much. Because I was about to snap because my sewing machine is not playing today.
Yep, sewist problems.
Oh, and I found a mat for $17 at Walmart, so I bought it. Let me see if I can.
Now you just have to clear off a table big enough to. Do I need to make you big?
Oh no, let me see it. Oh, it's not registering my other camera, is it? Oh, is it?
Oh, here, tell it. Maybe
Oh,
you
here we
need
go.
to.
There we go. Can you see it?
I don't see another camera angle popping up on my end. There we go.
They're next to each other. So what I did is I put the mats next to each other, so my entire table is one big mat
It's a
now.
giant mat. Awesome.
And I have and it has really improved my cutting.
It's fancy the right tools for the right job.
I'm turbo. I am like the definition of like, let's just start it and we'll figure it out while we're going. But this other mat, it stinks. It's outgassing.
Oh, weird.
And it has that plasticky smell, and it's like slowly getting to me. It was so bad. It was in my car, and like when I went back in my car, I was like, oh, that reeks.
Yeah.
So I'm all proud that I went and got a second mat, because paying $40 for something that I paid $20 for is insane. I refuse to.
Fair.
Like I don't care how much money you have. Like one of the reasons that people stay rich is because they don't spend money.
Right.
I used to always wonder that about my pops. He was the cheapest person I know, and then when he passed away, I found out why. Because he was paying for everybody else. Oh, and I got this really cool NASA hat, but like I have this really weird rule against wearing white because I stain everything.
Yes, me too.
And so like I love this hat, but it might become a wall hanger. Hold on, let me adjust it for my giant head. But look how cool that hat is, though.
That is super cute.
The white and the red. I've never seen a NASA hat. And I got this from a thrift store, but this is from the official Apollo 11 Immersion Live show. So this is real NASA
merch.
NASA.
Right, we're not in New York City at NASA Beach.
Made in the PRC. People's Republic of China. Yeah. Good old NASA hat. God,
Right.
America.
Darn you, America.
That's why, like, I don't care what side you're on. If you're pro-American and you're flying an American flag and it's made in China, rethink your life.
You're not American, right? You're lying to yourself, kids.
Yeah. I am all for like, well, buy American and all blah blah blah, all the propaganda, you know. I have nothing good to say after that.
Oh, Liz can't wear white either. She'd get coffee all over it.
Nasha, exactly.
Oh God. Actually, that's a good segue. So In The Hunt for Red October, the Russian character is so we can tie this all back into the Rust debacle. So, what a sleep alarm. That the Russian commander was based off of Helena Hutchinson's father, who got shot at the Rust thing. Okay, well, that's good to know. Okay. And we'll see what happens with that court case, because they keep dropping things like flies on that, so we'll see what's going to happen. Oh, Alec Baldwin and Hannah Gutierrez Reed with the wrongful death of Helena Hutchinson, who was the cinematographer, who her husband settled his civil case by he's now ponying up a whole bunch of money and is now one of the producers for the movie. Like, does that seem weird to anybody else? Like, or is that just me?
You know why that seems weird to you? Because you're not a vulture. That's vulturism.
Right,
like,
no, I'm just a mad white crow.
Like, no, you take one of my family members, I don't want to work for you.
Exactly, right, that just seems weird. And to go from being a lawyer to a movie producer, like, what skill set do you have that's transferable to this other than you've got money?
But that's the problem. Money makes you think that you are a TV producer, or like, just because you have the ability to pay for it doesn't mean you can get it done.
Right? Yeah, it's so weird.
I've actually had this conversation with a few overambitious people where I'm like, let's look at the logistics of what you're trying to do. Like, okay, right, you can open up a restaurant. You can open up a restaurant, but traditionally restaurants don't last, or there's just
right. And there's so many rules and regulations, and being a home cook is not at all the same thing about cooking on a industrial scale like that.
It's so funny you would say that. I knew someone who, she was a good cook, and they tell her all the time, you're the best cook ever. And I don't like her, and so I'm going to tell the real story. She opened up a restaurant, and it didn't even last 6 months. But I think it's more or less she's just an evil person. So when you go through a lifetime of making enemies...
Yeah, that doesn't help either.
You hear that? That is good old Japanese ingenuity. This is a 19, I don't know, Sears Bel Air. This is my grandma's old machine where after I was redoing her house, she had passed away, and I'd taken most of the stuff out of her house, and I found this thing in the back of her closet.
She was keeping it safe.
It's like, I put stickers on it just to tick off people in my family, but like this thing was like brand new. But it's a beast. Like, this thing is a beast. So I got I am mad. I hate sewing machine failure. So we are on sewing machine number 3 right now.
I know. This is a record. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to pop myself off the stream for a second because the cats are giving me their, if you don't feed me human, we're going to be mad at you. So I'll BRB in 5. Okay. Thank you for holding down the fort.
No worries. Yeah, the restaurant business is extremely difficult. Yes, it is. I love to cook. There are times when I wish I had commercial range. Okay, so someone I know bought one of those giant flat grills. It improved the way their food tastes. And it's heated on, excuse me. It's heated up by propane like a barbecue would. Oh my gosh. It makes breakfast taste better. Oh man, now I'm crazy. Every time I stream, I end up leaving the stream 10 times more hungry. All right, let's see if this beast works, huh? This thing is so old. I have a "Cash Me Outside" sticker on it. You can tell what year I started messing around with each machine depending on what stickers are on them. Because I'm obsessed with meme stickers, and I didn't realize how memes were not gonna last. So there are some of them are already outdated. Oh, and Liz, yesterday I was such a tightwad. I chose not to pay $17 for fast food. I came home and ate fish sticks. I am one of those people where I now refuse to pay the high prices for fast food, especially when they get your order wrong and it's not that good in the first place. Am I bougie for that? Am I bougie for that? I'm tired of paying extremely high prices. I swear every stream of ours eventually turns into food smoking in old store. That's me. I'm gonna die from something I ate, drank, or smoked, or telling an old story to the wrong person. I do. I have Rob Rasputin stuck in my head. Ugh. Let's see if I can remember how to thread this sewing machine. Is it left to right or is it right to left? Let's take a look.
Okay.
This thing is, I forgot how to thread this sewing machine, so we're going to learn together.
Okay, good. Oh, Liz is hungry. Kilroy, I swear every stream of ours eventually turns into food smoking and old stories. Yes, it does. Oh, Liz says Crisco fish sticks for the win. Kilroy, I'd kill myself before paying $17 for fast food. 100%. Liz, same. I hate spending that much money. Did you spend expensive money on food again?
No, I refused to. I came home and that's where I ate fish sticks. I was like, I was getting kind of hypoglycemic.
Yeah.
So I called Liz and I was like, well, if you see it on the news, I'm losing it right now. But I just drove home. I just went home. No, it's an issue with me now. It's an issue with me now. I refuse to pay $17 for something that was $5 or $6 2 years ago.
Right.
We're not talking about 1997, right? You know, we're not talking about back in the day.
When gas was only 99 cents.
Oh man, when I had a crappy truck and gas was $1.10 when I started driving. And I know I hate to be that guy, but when I started smoking, cigarettes were $1.50.
Right.
And I smoked Camel non-filters forever. Oh yeah, those Cowboy Killers are real.
No, those are Marlboros. Liz Price checks the restaurants due to inflation. That's truthfully not funny. Killer, I never thought about frying pre-fried fish in Crisco. I'm gonna have to try it. You don't have to. That's what the air fryer's for.
I do fry pre-fried food. I never thought about it like that.
That's gross. Liz angry driving, and yes, I think we might all agree here that we all missed the 90s on some level.
It was just it was, you know, I think every generation we take for granted when we're there, and then we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, it was so much better back then, you know?
I know, really, because I'm glad I didn't grow up with like Instagram and all the social media things.
Oh, I know I threaded that wrong.
The misadventures in sewing continue at the Godless Sewing Shop.
Oh, it's all like I always make fun of people for living emotionally, but really I'm just talking in the mirror. It's all emotions today. I can't believe and I used to take it as a sign, but now I'm stubbornly just threading every sewing machine in this house.
One of you will work for me.
But it's me. It's me. And it's not just a crappy line you tell someone when you break up with them. No, it's really me.
Oh, there are those days when the sewing is like just not, the sojo is not there, and you're like,
Oh, no.
everything works out terribly, and you're like, okay, what can I do that's sewing adjacent that doesn't actually involve touching a machine, because we're batting 0 for 0 right now.
Okay, that's threaded. This thing's a beast, so I'm gonna have to back off of it because this thing. These older sewing machines. They fly when you hit the pedal.
I'm sorry that you've been under the weather, Kilroy. Sore and headachy all week. I could use a greasy pick-me-up. Oh, don't tease me. Actually, no, I think I'm going to air fry some curry french fries and veggie sticks later.
Rah rah Rasputin.
Lover,
Let's
lover.
not.
It's too bad that those are the only line I know, though.
And in the front of the fleet is my precision deluxe made in Japan Belvedere sewing machine.
For the win.
You are leader of the pack. You're gonna live on the table until I figure out what's wrong with the other one.
Needle. Sorry, I was cutting it a little close to the busk, and metal against metal is not nice.
I'm just one of those. I'm a weirdo. I need a working sewing machine near me. Is that weird?
No, it's not. That's why Brunhilde lives on my table and my electric machines don't. Not that they don't work, but if something is wrong, it's me, not her.
I knew Grandma's old machine would work because she took care. She like would do maintenance and like regularly take care of things.
Yeah.
Oh, Grams for the win.
Good job, Granny.
Jaja. My grandma was so bougie. We called her Jaja. We called my grandma Jaja.
Was she as fabulous as Jaja Gabor?
Yes. And
awesome.
my grandmother wore furs, and she wore the 1950s haircut all the way up until the 2000s.
Yep.
And then she rocked the English woman's haircut with the bangs and the bangs up to the eyebrows.
Yes. Did she go to the beauty salon every week to get her set done?
To the point where the lady started coming to her house because she lived up the block from her, and they both started getting up there in age.
Oh, you're welcome, Liz. I'm glad. One of my missions in life is to not feel deprived while eating healthy. So I find I eat the same stuff, but I'm like, I don't need to fry this. I can get the same. What is it I want? The taste or the texture? Okay, air fryer for the win. Or heaven help me, low-fat mayonnaise or sour cream or cheese that comes in little squares that's wrapped in cellophane so I don't act like a little mouse and binge on cheese.
I do. I am addicted to queso seco, which is Spanish feta. Well, it's Mexican feta.
Okay.
And like it's seco literally means dry. That's literally what it means. It's dry cheese. Yep. And I am obsessed with that stuff to the point where I feel like I'm a mouse sometimes. I put it on and it smells like feet, and so I don't have to share it. No one likes it.
Oh, so I am a sucker for good blue cheese or gorgonzola. Liz, you're too funny. Hashtag Sojo no go.
Oh no. As my hat falls, Grandma's old sewing machine made sure I didn't fall off the cliff.
Okay, well, agree to disagree, Kilroy. Low-fat mayonnaise is a lie straight from the pit of hell. Oh no, yuck! Sorry. It's okay. I know. I'm in a no calories, no problem, and it's a me thing. You don't have to agree. It's okay. You guys got that song stuck in my head. Good. Rah, rah, Rasputin.
I was shocked when I found out that I could have been in that band.
Seriously, you even have all the right. You could have. He has your hammer pants in just silver lame.
Oh, I try to dress like them. I watch these videos and I'm like, I like that outfit. I like that combo. The whole pork pie thing came from watching a character named Pork Pie who wears a pork pie and a crappy jacket like the one I made that I wear all the time. I pay attention to people's styles. Even what I recently made, I made it copying this guy that a show I watch. It's Styles by Howard. He's a super duper gay guy from Texas. But the man can sew. But he's what I call a real fashion designer because he has lines of clothes out. He has fashion shows. He does fashion. People call him for fashion shoots. Like he's where I want to be someday. Like he's a real deal. But he's also shown me how catty the industry is. In the Belvedere's, patent pending. I love that.
This has been trademarked. You saw it here at the circus.
Carlos and the Belvedere's. I was obsessed with Mr. Belvedere as a kid too.
This is going to be my new backup band for my new act.
Well, my one of the greatest punk band names of all time, and it's already been taken, is Jewish Space Lasers from Outer Space. After Marjorie, I can't say her name properly.
MTG?
After she said that the solar array, which I say all the time, it's real, it exists. It's between Vegas and California. She said it was a space laser because she's an idiot. She said it was a Jewish space laser. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the name of my next band. But they already made a band called Jewish Space Laser.
But I don't know, that's not as bad as what's her face, who at 36 is going to be a freaking grandma and like applauding teen pregnancy rates.
She would be
told. Bobert, that's that weirdo.
Where I'm from, she'd be told. Bobert is bad for her own cause. Like, she's that head shaky, like, you know, I'm not in my angry atheist phase at all anymore. I'm not at all. I respect all religion, but people use, like, to quote The Simpsons, religion is the last refuge of the scoundrel. So she goes to all these churches, she goes to all these places, telling them what they want to hear, saying all this super anti-LGBTQIA crap. She's a danger. She is a danger, and she would never fight any of those fights that she's looking for.
Oh, the cheese addicts in the house.
I'm not even supposed to eat it, and I do. I love cheese.
Yes, gorgonzola, blue cheese. I'm here for all the stinky cheeses.
Totally.
Demonic 50 Vaccine is another great punk band. Oh gosh,
that's a fist fight around here.
Yeah, I was like,
that word vaccine.
True, but that's kind of touchy on all sorts of things. Another one could be like Pfizer is the devil.
I think you could even, like, any pharmaceutical company. I'm not kidding you. I say we are the only country in the world where I know the Ozempic song because they sponsor my hockey team.
I know, and what, like, Sam Smith's performance at the whatever was sponsored by Pfizer. Like, it's true.
I just like how Rihanna and Sam Smith wearing red is the sign of the apocalypse.
Right.
Sam Smith is just, I was never into Sam Smith.
No, I don't.
Never into Sam Smith.
And he got all those FTC things for his, like, Red Devil appear. Like, people hated that.
I like how I watch a lot of, like, I watch this one channel called Little Light Studios.
Okay.
They're a bunch of failed actors who literally got drummed out of Hollywood and moved to, like, Ohio or somewhere. I looked it up one day and I was so shocked on how Midwest they were. But
they're African neighbors.
This one guy, Scotty, literally talks about how he lived in Hollywood and he saw Satan and all this. Really, what happened is that he didn't make it.
Right.
There's this one rapper and he's in Nigeria. I watch Nigerian television as well. And he went back to Nigeria and he said that rappers are of Satan and they're the devil. The truth is he was in the industry for 15 years and didn't get big.
Oh, he's
you
just
know,
bitter and
yeah.
yellow.
And like
If
on
I
Nigeria,
can't do it, nobody can do it,
Yeah.
even though I probably sucked. And
well, he was there, like he was showing on Nigerian television, like he did a song for Outkast. He was like a producer for Jay-Z and all, like he was there. He just never broke through.
Right. Well, and some people, their skill set isn't being the front person. Sometimes, like all the great songs that were written by other people that nobody knows about.
Exactly. You know.
Oh God. If I saw a halftime show sponsored by a drunk company, I'd get up and leave. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Speaking of other unusual sponsors for unusual things, this year, as well as a number of other previous South by Southwest film festivals, who's on their sponsorship page and has it listed on the front one of their websites? Yes, you'd get it right. The CIA is sponsoring South by Southwest, and not for the first time. It's real.
Kids. So if any of the Alphabet Boys are sponsoring, see, where I'm from, we don't deal with people like that. We don't even know. If they came to me and they were like, hey, we're going to sponsor you, I'd be like, it looks like I'm going to be broke.
Right?
No.
Like, thanks, no thanks.
You're literally working for the cops. They're literally working for the
Yeah.
I have to laugh because those agencies, like, they'll get you if they want to, you know? Like,
oh, yeah. So the number of movies that they've sponsored, and they've all got good production value because they've got a shit ton of money. Their CIA is not going to make a crappy movie.
No. I was watching, I watch a lot of drag queen content, and they were talking about this app. I don't know the name of it, but basically it's called Get Real or Be Real or something, where you sign up for the app and then you have to post your exact location in your face at the time. And like, and it says, oh, are you being real? And if you don't post your picture at the time, it'll say this person wasn't being real. They waited to take the picture. And the host of Very Delta, it's on the WoW network. I'm sorry, Mom. WoW is the multi-million-dollar one. Mom is the one for people doing it in their garage.
I think we're never mind.
That's what I know. I feel the same way. I would eat gas station sushi.
Amateur. That's like for the MILFs who didn't make it on OnlyFans. They went to Mom.
Oh man,
this light makes me like extra pasty on my face, but my skin looks normal. That's so weird. This foundation blows. I hate it so much. I'm gonna throw it out, and I hate throwing out things before I use them up. But this Tarte foundation has to go into the bin.
That's gonna be my next video. Is the great sew off. I'm gonna go through every machine in this house.
Oh, yes, let's do a head-to-head competition. The same garment on every machine or just a sampler? Because you do have way too many you'd have to sell some of those garments or auction. You can auction stuff off for charity for your works.
I do work for an actual real nonprofit.
That's what new ideas. The next charity auction, this is the Godless sew-off.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so back to, because I totally had a stoner moment. Thank you, Kilroy, for reminding me of what I was talking about. So basically, Delta was like, that's a CIA website. That's why when you said that, it triggered what you were saying, because like, no, I'm not gonna tell you my location. Like, I turn the location off on everything to the point where when when I do troubleshooting, they're like, you have to allow us in your computer. You have to turn this on. You have to. I've learned like.
I know, I don't even have it set on my phone, and I deleted TikTok because it scares me too much.
I said from the jump, like I got on TikTok and I felt like a creep. Because first thing I did was type in, I want to see people dancing and I want to see this and this. And I was like, oh, I lasted 3 days. I did.
Yeah,
and then I got rid of it. I was like,
yeah,
and
the
I
weird,
watched.
like, incest stuff on there is just gross.
Wouldn't know. See, that's what I'm saying. Do you know, I had this conversation with Marquette. He was telling me, he's like, these kids are, because he has 2 sons as well. And he was telling me, he's like, do you know my kids watch the strangest stuff? Like I can't even say what the whole incest thing is. Just strange to me. I'm just gonna say that, but it's a multi-million-dollar thing now in the porn industry.
In the hubs, yeah, like,
no, I'm from
gross.
the West Coast. My cousins repulse me. I don't even like half my family. No,
Right?
I am.
I don't even want to see them with their clothes on.
TikTok is awful. I just felt old. I felt out of place. I felt like the angry. I felt like the weird guy peeping in the blinds. Like I felt like this is not for me.
It makes me mad that YouTube is trying to push shorts, and I like stalwartly, absolutely, adamantly refuse to make short form content. I don't like it. I don't want to edit it. I'm here for a 4-hour live stream. That's what I show up to do.
No joke. YouTube will not let me make shorts. I've tried 3 times. If you ever see Salute Your Shorts on my thing, it's because I watched way too much television as a child. And so whenever I make a short, I do Salute Your Shorts because I watched way too much Nickelodeon, and they won't allow, like it's never gone in the thing. I do what they tell me to do, hashtag it, everything. I don't know what I'm doing though.
I don't think you're missing anything by not conforming.
Because there's a lot of advice I got for helping my channel out, and it worked. And like having your thumbnail not as the same title as your as the title that you have, that's good advice. Like there's certain things that I've learned along the way that work, and other things where I'm like, it's different because like we actually make things and present them.
Yeah.
We don't have digital avatars. We don't like because I see people like Commander and I'm like, I want that animation, but I'd have it for no reason.
Right. No, this is the ugly mug that I'm stuck with, and it's the ugly mug you can't see, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, because I'm showing off. Like sewing is personal, you know.
It is.
So you have to be like, no, I made this and blah blah blah. Like, oh, I'm gonna.
Yes, bringing it back, Simpson styles. Eat my shorts.
I'm so old. I had to eat my shorts sticker on my Nintendo.
Oh my god! So you were one of the kids whose parents let them watch Simpsons.
Yeah,
they didn't realize how bad it was.
Yeah,
they let you watch it anyway.
Because my parents were super controlling but lazy, and so they would be like, "Don't do something," and then they walk out of the room, and I would be like, "Well, they're not coming back."
Right.
So I'm just gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah, my dad watched it with us, and it didn't matter at my household, but I do remember friends whose parents were like, when Simpsons was new, they weren't allowed to watch it because it was too dirty.
You know, once we got a real cable box, my parents stopped. Like they realized they couldn't control what we watched. Right. But it was so, I don't know. It was so different then. Like now I'm all like okay, MacGyver did not radicalize me. I watched Stargate for years. It did not make me want to join the Air Force. You know, like these kids get radicalized now. Like, oh man, my ex-wife and I, we joked last night how we have more communication now than when we were married, because we have to navigate the stuff our son watches, you know?
Yep, absolutely. This is so true, Kilroy. People who do shorts are just cashing in on trends. If you want to actually show something real, you need more than 60 seconds. 100%.
Absolutely.
And I know Commander's animation is amazing, but I would be lost if I tried. Yes. I can't sit at my computer for that long, partly because my day job requires me to sit at the computer and my eyes just get like fuzzed over. We were latchkey kids, so we watched whatever. I know, me too.
I can't
But a
believe
lot
my
of it was
chair
I
broke.
Dream of Jeannie.
Today is just a not today Bob and Gannon day. I'm gonna sit with my chair leaned to the side.
And sink down. Right. It's okay. We don't. Oh, let's see here. Kilroy. I had an. Oh my gosh. Howdy, Skits Crasher. Kilroy. I
Hey,
had a childhood. I couldn't watch The Simpsons, but I could play with pew pews and fireworks. That is funny. That, like, how. What a. Like, how do we rectify those? Like, two being okay, and the other one being like, yeah, no, you can't laugh, but you can do stuff that might cause you bodily harm instead.
to be fair, that's like a super American thing because I was kind of raised like that too. Like, I think about how much I grew up on a gun range, and I'm not a like that was just the 1980s, 1990s
Yeah,
culture, you know?
right.
Because I hear people in other countries when they talk about us, like, have you seen the viral video of the guy in a kayak or whatever with two shotguns shooting the shotguns and he's
No,
propelling himself? I see my
no.
Twitter is awful. My Twitter is just nothing but idiotic videos. Because I'm like a deer in the headlight. I can't stop clicking on these just train wreck videos. This
Oh, so then
guy
you're getting the algorithm to think that you want them to feed you more of that. You did this to yourself.
and fist fights too, and fist fights like it's not to the point where it's depressing. I click on a bunch of Star Trek stuff, but there's a guy who's shooting two shotguns and rowing himself, and people are like, "This is the most American thing ever." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're making us all look bad. You're making us all look bad." You
What is it in like some country in Europe up until recently? Like kids just went around on their bicycles. You could like
Sweden.
you could have a shotgun at your house, but the handguns had to be kept in the city armory. So the kids would just ride on their bikes with their shotguns and go do their hunting, their target practice. But then if they needed to, the adults would show up at the local armory to get their other pieces out.
Gilroy, sometimes I have to say that to my son. Like, you're
You're
14,
14,
bro.
you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is why, this is going to get me on a tangent that I'm sorry if people like cancel me after this, but you can't be 14 and get a double mastectomy just because you want to, when you can be an adult and might need it for health reasons to have a reduction and not have insurance pay for it.
We have allowed feelings to super succeed common sense. So like and I'm gonna tell you, I say this all the time. I come from the F your feelings background. I got my feelings beat out of me as a child. So maybe I'm the wrong person. I'm from a different generation. I have to check myself sometimes. Like my son will say something, I'm like, William, he has feelings just because you don't have feelings.
I don't agree. Don't have those same feelings.
I have to check myself sometimes because I was raised by pirates. Like they were like, you will do
Right.
do as you're told. Like you're on the ship, do as you're told.
Yeah, I
It's yeah, no, I agree with you, and like we recently talked to Isaiah's girlfriend's mother, and it was one of the most adult conversations I've ever had in my life because we were all like talking about our experiences and saying, hey, like let's make sure they don't get obsessed with each other. Let's make sure they don't like, they're 13. Let's make sure, that we're all on the same
right.
page. So nobody's hurting each other. No one's obsessing over the other too much or,
Mm-hmm.
Times have changed. I'm not
Absolutely. I'm like, if you're 18, I don't care what you do, but kids, I can't.
See, but the problem is that a generation of people were ignored by their parents, and so they're overcompensating, and they're letting the inmates run the asylum.
Yeah.
Like for as that's why people judge me hard, because I'm immature as hell. I dress like Willie Nelson's illegitimate kid, but what they don't see is that I like my bills are paid. I don't get on the microphone unless like there's a ton of adult things I do before I get here.
Right.
I got up at 4:30 this morning and went to work.
Better you than me.
Oh man, but yes, oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Liz, yes, I'm all for feelings. I'm a poet, but we need to look at facts and feelings both. Fun fact, your opinion isn't a fact is my motto. Yeah.
I'm too nice. I think that's part of my problem too, is I try not to hurt people's feelings, but I'm sometimes like you have to be. I need an objectionable eye sometimes. Sometimes I need someone to say like, "Hey man, are you okay today?"
Yeah.
How are
No.
you feeling? Like, what's going on with you? Like, every once in a while, I need to talk to somebody because I might get in my car, drive to Vegas, and start my gambling habit over again, which is overcompensation for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, find the root of the problem is all I'm saying. And I'm gonna say this to be harsh since we're being controversial. It's
Yeah,
okay.
we're letting all the balls hang out.
No, this is what bothers me in today's society the most. It's okay to be gay. You can just be gay. Like, it's okay. Being gay is not plain. Like, it's okay. It's okay. And I think because we've become obsessed, like, again, you and I are the same age, so we are anti-label, but we were told to be anti-label.
That's true. Right. I was socialized to be like, yeah, I have all these things where I could identify, but I don't need to lead with that to make me feel special.
Never.
I want you to respect me for being a human. And then if I choose to tell you how I might identify or fit into all these special groups, then that means I really like you. But that doesn't mean I don't use that to be like, you should like me because I am this.
Exactly. And I think that's part of the beef in general, because even in the Umbrella Academy,
I've been
the
watching
LGBTQIA, even in the community, there's a bunch of riffs. And if you want to get real, like 1990 standards, lesbians and gays never got along. That's why they had separate bars.
And then they had the straight fag hag friends. And how can we even say that word? Oh, I just canceled myself on my own show. The fag hags.
Do you know what's so funny? I used to walk around with a shirt that said "Fag hags need not apply," but my mother asked me to stop wearing it because people were noticing it around town.
And you're like, all right, just for you, Mom, because you asked nice and I care about you.
She's a major employer in the town. Like, you know, I gotta adhere to some standard.
No, it's because Mom asked you nicely or not so nicely, and you're like, yes, Mom.
Well, she's a part of all those bougie clubs like the Seroptimus and like, you know.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They have fashion shows. They have like, they're bougie, you know.
They are.
I could never see myself being a part of an organization like that. Like, I'm a part of certain ones like Creek People, but that's just because I work at I'm a part of a certain place that's out in the middle of nowhere. Excuse me. There are certain organizations, like sub-organizations, I refuse to be a part of.
Yeah.
Now I just have rah rah Rasputin with Lennon dancing and.
All right, we have busks.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. You know what else is cute? One of my biggest fans sent me these labels that I have to start to use. Let me make this really big and be a show off for a second. It's a little, oh, can I get closer? It's a little ghosty that says costume by me. So I can sew my own labels in.
I was thinking about sewing by sewing as a label.
That's very punny.
Well, people, the godless name turns people off, but I refuse to change my name because I'm a bit of a pirate. My clothes curse, you know, like I'm sure I would have
my clothes are more sailor than I am.
I'm sure I'd have way more subscribers if I didn't wear a vest that said "fuck you, I have enough friends."
Oh, you might as well just be honest so they know what they're getting themselves into.
Exactly.
Better than to be misleading and be like, hey, everybody likes me. I'm nice and
Exactly. That's why I like part of me wanted to get rid of my blooper channel, but I want people to know that I'm a human. I have bad days. I am not perfect. And because I'm always at 10, I wake up at like a -3. And I have this puffy thing. The older I get, my eyes are getting puffy. I don't know what it is.
it could be all the salt from the deep fried fat food you're eating.
Oh Lord, that's coming. The day I'm gonna have to stop eating pastrami, that's coming. I'm addicted to pastrami. I love roast beef. Oh no,
I know I need to go. There's a place in town that smokes their own briskets and makes house-made Reubens. Oh, I need a Reuben now.
My pops worked for a Jewish delicatessen as a child, and
God.
Raising me, I'm obsessed with like anything that you could possibly think of that comes from a Jewish deli.
How about gefilte fish?
Still eat it to this day.
Yeah.
Lox and bagels.
I need to find me some because the stuff from the jar is shit. I need the granny to make me some gefilte fish.
Kilroy, I'm in the same group. I quit too. I got stalked by people. in the same community.
I know. And I know.
When I got doxxed, that was like, F you, I'm out. I'm done with you guys. I'm done. You doxed me. Like I got
right. And I'm kind of tired with all the I'm tired with all the extra like it was always just LGBTQ that fit everybody. We didn't need extra letters for extra things, and all the new flags, I just don't get it. I'm going to be stalwart to the 1990s, and there's only one flag. I've accepted that eventually I'm going to look like a catcher's mitt. Oh, honey. Can I play your ball then? I don't know. So.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say like, but I'm into older people. Like weathered and leathered is kind of hot depending on how you wear it. Like I always jokingly say that Hulk Hogan is my color, but when I saw him in person, he was like, Alexa, how old is Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan is 69 years old.
Okay, I saw him when he was like in his 50s, and he looked good for a 50-something-year-old man. He looked
the testosterone and drugs probably didn't hurt either.
Well, being on roids for 30 years, but the man was just a human specimen.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Hulk Hogan. And I saw him like I had good seats. So he walked past me, and I was like, holy cow, Hulk Hogan looks good for.
I know, and those tight pants, those wrestling pants, I'm here for it.
That reminds me, I need to start working out now. So, because of my age, I'm going to be a Power Ranger this year. I haven't decided if I'm going to be Tommy or the Black Ranger. I haven't decided if I'm going to be the green or red. But I recently saw a trailer. They brought back what's left of the original Rangers.
Oh, except for the kid who just died this past year.
The original Rangers. And fun LA fact, it was filmed in my neighborhood.
Oh, you said this because they tried to get your mom to.
You used to look at the house and and so when I saw the Blue Ranger, I almost cried because he was so nice to me. He didn't have to be. They all smoked cigarettes, so I know they were all on a bunch of yayo. And the Black Ranger, for being African American, you can tell he partied hard for 30 years. He had bags under his eyes. I'm like, ooh, bro, you drink. Or you smoke, like you do hard drugs, bro. Good for you. You cleaned up, good enough to be in a movie.
Right.
The Pink Ranger and the Yellow Ranger are deceased. And so they basically and they had Tommy in it, but he just recently died, so I don't know how they're gonna do that. You know, but the geek in me got hyped. I'm like, you know what? Even if my son doesn't want to go, I'm gonna go and see this in the theater. I'm gonna eat an edible.
Put some juji fruits in your pocket and
When I
go.
lived in Portland, I developed a pair and I went and saw a bunch of movies by myself. And so
Yeah.
because I'm into weird movies, I'm into French movies. I like watching like they'll re-release I saw Casablanca in the theaters, and
Yeah.
not everybody's into it, you know? So I'll go by myself. I do not care.
Right.
I will go by myself to the movies.
That's all right.
No,
That's
but
one less ticket to have to buy. Oh, okay, you stole my chair.
Gilroy, but before I go off, like in general, I was thinking about this the other day because I went to Burning Man when you didn't need a ticket. I went to Coachella when you didn't need a ticket. There was no fence because there was 500 people there, you know, and Wu-Tang Clan. You know, like, so I think commercialization ruins everything. And I don't go to
Kilroy, I'm sorry. I think this is every stream.
okay, so fun fact, I stopped drinking pot tea during my streams because it got me too high. It got me so ripped where I'm like 4 hours into it, I feel hammered at the end of the stream. That's
Like,
why I can't wait to
start the air
planting.
fryer. I need to eat right now.
That's why I can't wait to start planting again.
I know. Oh, old
I
movies
love
from
old
the
movies.
30s. Yes. And the portraits that Johnny Depp made of, no, it wasn't Hedy Lamarr. No, he wrote a song about Hedy Lamarr with what's his face just before he died.
Oh,
His paintings of Elizabeth.
what
What's his face with the
what
diamond
Gilroy?
commercial?
Sorry, what Gilroy just said kind of reminded me of my grandma. She was so old that she would always like I would go see movies with my grandma all the time, and she'd call me and she'd be like, "I want to go to the pictures. I want to go to the picture shows." She was so old, she called it the pictures.
We should revive that term.
I miss that. I miss those phone calls from my grandmother.
Yes. I just miss talking to my grandma. All of them.
Zsa was lit. I loved hanging out with my grandma because she was bold. She was so bold. And she reached a certain age where she stopped caring. Like, and I hope I live that long.
Right.
But my grandmother was unhealthy because she would fat shame and she would teeth shame too. Because she had all her original teeth. I agree. And I think that's the one thing that's ruined the community and for me in general. And I always say, oh, it's the younger generation. But no, it's not, because people my age were the people who were. Yeah. And like, I was thinking about this the other day. BBLs. When did BBLs really come into light?
Oh, Brazilian butt lifts? I don't know, maybe 10 years ago?
20 years ago. No, 23 years ago, I lived in Hollywood. 22-ish. BBLs were the rage. That's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing new is what I'm saying, you know? I just feel like what Kilroy said, I just feel like certain communities have been hijacked, and it's nothing but virtue signaling. Nothing but.
True. And I mean, I was watching this station, Future Conflicts. It's a whole bunch of ex-military people, and how one of their episodes, they had this guy, James Lindsay, on, and this whole notion of that kind of what just happened in Seattle with the trans woman who offed herself, but what the story headlines didn't say was that she was in the process of getting evicted and shot, and don't know if the police officer has died or not or is still alive, but she shot a cop.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And like this whole notion of like trans Floyd, of like, we're going to have like a George Floyd type riots to really that community.
Here's my beef. I got stalked and doxxed by a trans man, and half the people in the atheist community were scared to even speak up about it because they didn't want to be called transphobic.
Yeah, assholes are assholes. It doesn't matter what labels you choose.
And then they got mad at me because I confronted this person because I'm confrontational. I was like, and I wasn't even mean. I was just super duper like, you doxed me. You doxed me in chat. It's on record. I was like, you, and they went off. They went through the rodeo, what I call the rodeo of shame of like, first they're like, so what? And when you admit something to me, it makes me even more angry. Because then that's intent. That is intent.
Right, you just admitted to I did this on purpose.
And when people say, oh, well, you shouldn't put yourself in that situation, that's very like, you wouldn't say that to a woman. You would never say that to somebody that was victimized or something. You know, you would never. Victim shaming is strange to me at best. And I'm being nice when I say that.
We talked about this a while ago. There's the whole bunch of ladies who falsely accuse. So it's hard. You like hear, listen, and verify. Like you can't take anything on face value.
And I agree with you, Kilroy. Brazilian butt lift is aphasia. It is word salad.
I know. Because then it makes me think of BBW, and that's also grim.
I just like saying BBL because on Black. Oh, sorry. Hey,
how's it going?
On Black Twitter, like when the Kardashians get they'll show up with a brand new face. They'll be like, Kim Kardashian got a whole new head. I love that saying. I love it. Like they're like, they got a whole new body. Khloe Kardashian had a BBL. She showed up at a Rockets game. They took a picture of her. 3 days later, her butt was gone. Because she can afford to get it removed and get a whole new body, you know.
Fair.
All the weird illegal hotel room silicone injection things.
Oh,
gross.
I cringe at that because around here there's lots of pill mills, there's lots of back alley dentists, there's lots of like, and you hear horror stories.
Back alley dentists.
I actually knew a doctor who his name was DeNobo. If this man ever shows up in your town, him and his nurse's name is really, they're African, okay? So it's funny, not funny, but and his name was Fufu. So his name was Nurse Fufu.
Did you come in with her cat ears and her tail?
Oh, it was a man.
Oh my
God. A very
God.
large man too. Fufu.
Oh, did he come in with his cat ears and tail?
No one's gonna make fun of that man.
Fufu was 6'5" and the size of a refrigerator. But long story short,
I dare you to make fun of him.
if DeNobo or Fufu show up in your town, they open up pill mills all across America, make millions, and leave.
So you're saying if I want pills,
find Dr. Fufu.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, in the LA Times, like he got charged. The FBI raided his thing and everything, and he because he was rich, he moved to a different city and started back up.
Oh,
like if that was any of us, they would throw us under the jail.
Oh, I know. I may or may not have had to deal with an individual this morning who may or may not have said, how can you just get me a morphine drip? And I'm like, no.
We don't do that around here, junkie. No. See, you're nice. I would have been like, no, junkie.
Well,
oh my God.
Oh my God. Get to that point, but
because I work around with people with special needs, I've had to learn to say, no, you can't do that. Like,
right. Like it's a Sunday and, if you may or may not have read my policies, which this person may or may not have seen them yet, the answer is there's no early refills and you don't call me on the weekends for that.
In my health insurance, if you start doing that, it sets up red flags and they ask you direct questions like, are you okay? Do you need a meeting? are you getting hooked on this? Like,
Yeah.
crazy. How are you doing, Skits? How's your sewing adventures coming along, huh?
It's been going okay. Haven't had too much time, but I sewed a mask actually.
Awesome.
Just because it looked like a relatively simple thing, like I found an old T-shirt that needed to be tossed, and it had an old army emblem on it, so I cut that out, and then that pair of pants I destroyed when my first couple of stitches, I had a waistband, so yeah, I took that off, and used that as the ear loop things.
Good job reducing, reusing, and recycling.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I thought you guys would be proud about that.
Heck
I am proud of you.
I am all about the 3 R's. That is literally what I started my channel on, because I thought it was abnormal that people hoarded fabric, and then I started a YouTube channel and people were like, oh no, I have more than you. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Wait, I know, that's why you should, if you're not going to do the 30 meters challenge, you could do the 40 pounds.
Literally, I'm looking at like 100, like just I mean, my pile has grown so much because I've been going through everything. And like when my dad passed, I was like, you know what, I gotta put all my sewing stuff together. A lot of the stuff I did was procrastination. I'd have stuff over here. I decided to put everything in the same room at the same time. I have a lot of stuff.
That was a reckoning. You had your own personal intervention.
But now that I have like all this space in my middle bedroom as a closet, I found more fabric. So I'm like, oh man, I need help.
But remember, it's not hoarding if your stuff is cool.
Damn
or if
right.
you're using it.
Or one of my favorite sayings is, I'm not a hoarder, I'm a hider.
Yes. Well, that's like what is it? Buying fabric is not the same hobby as sewing.
Do you know what's so funny? I discovered that when I first came onto YouTube, there's a difference between collecting sewing machines and sewing.
Yes.
And I do both, and people tell me all the time, like, oh, you're bridging the gap, and I didn't know there was one.
This is just my life. Oh, Killer Eye. I'm such a Beavis and Butthead. I'm laughing at the thought of Skits reusing his pants because of a sewing machine. Ruining his pants because of a sewing machine.
To be fair, I've ruined a lot of stuff with the sewing machine.
Including the sewing machine.
Yeah, exactly. I might give my Husqvarna a Viking funeral. I'm gonna take it out to the lake, set it on fire.
Right, you better do it now before fire season starts.
God, California, that's all year round.
Well, where I live, I would get thrown under the jail for doing that.
Right, because you're not only polluting with the plastic off-gassing, and you've set shit on fire.
Okay, but funny, not funny story. The neighbor directly behind me, they lived behind me forever, and he got a divorce from his wife. And his wife told him, like, look, you need to sell the house. So for a year, and I'm not kidding when I say this, he parked a Toyota Celica in his backyard and took it apart with a screwdriver. He dug a giant burn pit, okay? And his wife, and I'll never forget, because I was in the backyard, because I hang out in my backyard during the summer. I'm smoking, and I remember him saying, well, you told me you wanted half. It's in the backyard. He burnt all the furniture. They had a chicken coop, which, to their credit, never smelt the chicken once, because she was a kindergarten teacher, so she'd do it for like teaching the kids life science, blah, blah, blah. He burnt the entire chicken coop. One day, I look up, there's like a nuke of feathers over the house. I'm like, where did this come from? Oh my
God.
He lost it. And it took months. And finally, one day I woke up and the fire department was like, you can't do this. And he's like, I'm an American. He got arrested and everything. Oh, yeah. You cannot
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Look, I left him alone.
Yeah, he might have need to be a 5150.
But I've been divorced. I lost my damn mind. I know what it is to like, I lost it when I got divorced. And so I tried not to, that's where I'm too nice, because I wasn't the one who called the fire department, and I should have been.
Fair.
But he went crazy. I'm surprised he didn't burn the house down.
Right. Or
And
your
we
house
have
down. Or
we
the
have
whole neighborhood.
giant fruitless mulberries everywhere. It's a Southern California thing. We have giant fruitless mulberries everywhere.
So
And those
sad,
things
because
are-
if you had fruits, then you could have silkworms.
And it's a fire hazard, you know. I have a fire. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say that your patch is really throwing my head. Like everything else is not reversed, but your patch.
Oh my!
So I'm like, my brain.
I am obsessed with the Black Label Society. I am a black metal. Like, it adheres to who I am. Like, and so I have a bunch of Black Label Society patches, but like, I incorporate them into my style. Some people wear Black Label Society patches to look like a fake biker. And so I just incorporate them into my patches. But this one fits perfect on this work shirt. I just like it.
and both of you said that like for patches, it's best to hand sew them.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Like
I've
it's
never
not
done
even
it any way. The plastic on so many of them doesn't stitch right, and I wouldn't do it on a machine.
And anything that it has a sticky base on it is gonna ruin a needle.
Right, unless you get like a Teflon needle or something like fancy that you should not bother investing in quite yet in your journey, because I care about you.
That's like you're in the Matrix. That's like a Matrix level.
You've not been blue pilled enough to work to be worthy of the Teflon needle.
Oh, I'll totally be Morpheus because he lives at the end of the movie.
Oh, this is so true, Kilroy. If you haven't flown off the handle at least once, have you ever truly lived? No.
Oh man, I have crummy lungs. Losing it is good for the lungs. I get in my car and scream F sometimes. It's good. It's good for you.
Get to clean the
I used
carbon
to
out
go
of you.
with my friend after dissection lab exams. We would go out to the woods and do some stuff and then scream very loudly.
It's therapeutic.
It is.
As long as you're not an abusive a-hole.
You're yelling at some poor guy. I'm sorry.
It wasn't you, beautiful.
I know I look crazy in my car though, because I sing, I talk, and I don't have, in my truck, I don't have Bluetooth. So I literally have my phone next to me, and people don't know that I'm not a complete psycho. And so I'm
hard
loudly talking. Oh, I had such an adventure today in my truck. It makes me laugh. People treat me differently when I'm in my truck than when I'm in my car. Especially with my cowboy hat. I went to the SWAT meet, and there's a part of the parking lot that is country. It's like grass, and it's nothing but trucks over there because they're the only ones that can handle it. But I love it when people are like, "Oh, sorry." When people are like, "Oh, you have an 88 truck," and I'm like, "Yeah, no car payments." It shuts people up every time because trucks are expensive.
For real, especially ones that are actually capable of doing stuff. Like a lot of them are just like fancy and look nice, but
especially like the Dodge Rams, they're just really powerful motors with like super featherweight trucks. So they're not made to haul stuff. They're made to go fast and look good. You know,
they don't have the torque and things like that. And
my truck is a work truck. It doesn't go fast. That's why I bought my soccer mom car, because I can go 1,000,000 miles an hour in my soccer mom car, you know. But my truck, I pull stumps with it. It's a tool.
What do you feel about electric trucks?
Blasphemia. Okay, for the tow, on my 88, okay, I could tow. Okay, let's be realistic. in neutral, I could tow 3 of the electric trucks. Not one could tow my truck. They just do not have the power. They're not practical. I've said this before. If they create something that is practical, I'm not anti-Earth. I'm not anti-human. I'm actually pro-human. Not all humans, some. So if they find a way
Believe
I
it or
cannot
not.
destroy the environment and still be able to pull an entire tree out with my vehicle in second low, I'll do it. Or 4 low, depending on what it is. But I'm just saying, like, no. But again, I'm looking at it from the work standpoint. If you just want to look pretty, they have some really nice cars. You know,
I
like
think that's. I was going to say, I think Killer would agree because they say that driving a car is mini therapy. I'll have the music up super loud and purposefully have road rage just for something to do. And I think Liz agrees.
I like how you say I may or may not. I may or may not have started smoking J's again in my truck when I'm by myself. That's therapeutic.
Ah, God, it's been a while since I've done that.
Me
I
too.
used
Like,
to go there after my grandma died and just like cry and scream in my car because nobody could hear me. And I was really upset.
I just like in California, I've said this a million times, they've made it super illegal to smoke and drive. Which is fair. Like,
smoke anymore.
I agree with you. I don't think people are capable of driving in the first place. Like, it's illegal to be on your cell phone here. Everybody and their mama is on. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy.
I agree, especially from all those damn Californians who come up into the state I live in and still can't drive and think they're assholes and they're like front wheel drive sports cars. I'm like, no, that's not the right car for here.
And I think that's another thing. And see, that's the thing. Like, California trucks don't have oomph. Like, well, no, not all. I'm sorry. Like the newer age trucks, because if you were to buy a truck in Oregon without a smog pump, it's going to be a completely different vehicle than one that you buy in California. Do you guys have smog checks now though?
We do. It's been here since I've lived here. So yeah, I was like, please let my 06 card pass. But she did.
I forgot. It's ODOT.
It is ODOT, yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, go ahead. Let me read the chat first. Kilroy wants electric vehicles to work so bad, but it seems they're designing them for suburbanites commuting 5 to 25 miles and not in the country outside of an upper class career. Absolutely. It's hailing. Winter never ends. Oh my God, Liz. I'm so sorry. And I'm sure I'm going to have some later, depending on the way the wind is blowing. I know, because you can't even drive from one end of the state to the other end of the state in an electric vehicle where I live.
Depending on the
because
electric
there's no
vehicle,
charging stations in my state.
If you come to crappy driving in California, there's charging stations every 15 feet here.
For real.
They're getting ready.
On the 5. Once you cross the border on the 5, you can't make it.
That's true. I don't know. I like when the Prius first came out, I was anti-Prius, okay? And a friend of mine, one weekend was like, get in the car. On one tank of gas, we went to Vegas and back and drove around in Vegas. It's feasible, you know, like there are cars that they can create that are more fuel efficient, you know.
Right, yeah. And the electric just transfers where the energy is coming from because we don't have enough nuclear, so that leaves us with coal. How is burning coal any better than burning gas?
It's not. We
California
are
very small percentage of coal.
We're crazy, yeah. As human beings, though, we're very destructive, and we only find destructive ways. Like a combustion engine, the process is actually very violent. To fire a firearm, who would ever think I'm gonna get a cylinder, add powder, and put a projectile in it? Only a human. Only a human being.
Right, because the whales don't need that shit.
You don't know. You don't see other monkeys creating weapons to hurt
Far
each
out of
other.
each other with projectiles. You gotta be
Bonobos,
up close and personal.
bonobos are falling out of trees and making out. They're eating eucalyptus leaves like lemurs, you know.
Wait,
They're
the lemurs,
they're very bonobos are extremely close to us as far as chromosomes and DNA.
and don't they just have sex all the time?
I was gonna say they've got their
Literally.
butts out all the time. They've got the ape version of the BBL going on.
We call them the F monkeys. You can fill in the F. That's what they do. One day I'm gonna get my camera and go to the gibbon farm by my job, because I always forget that it's there until the sun comes up and the gibbons remind us.
So,
But it's
do
just
they like raise them for meat or pet or to sell to universities for science experiments?
because I live in a super Republican town, probably E, all of the above.
Okay,
It's a sanctuary, but like
who would eat monkeys?
there was one place that I thought was a horse rescue, and it wasn't. It was like where they go before the glue factory.
I was gonna make
Basically,
that joke, but you stole my
It was
thunder.
like, because there's a lot of horse places around. I make friends with all the property owners, and like this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I get paid blah 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 to do this the horses." I was like, "Oh, I'll never come over here again. You're evil. Goodbye."
But Elmer's glue is so good.
Well, he takes old horses or like foreclosed horses. It's an evil business what he does.
Well, the whole horse racing industry is evil. I mean, those horses are more juiced than the bodybuilders, and they can't even consent to it.
Same like when I used to watch the greyhound racing in Arizona. Like, it was the cruelest effing thing in the world. Cruelest thing in the world.
Don't juice your kids.
They still do it though, because like I may or may not be on a Las Vegas website, and they still have dog racing. I don't know where it's being broadcast from though.
Probably on the off-track betting, where the old guys are sitting, where the last vestiges of drinking and smoking cigarettes in public places at the racetrack.
Oh, I'm dying, Gilroy. I am dying. Elmer's glue is great as frosting. The kindergartner in me agrees with you.
That was paste and
That's
not
paste.
glue.
I know.
That
I
explains
know.
a lot, though.
Joke.
Well, I knew my life was in trouble when my glue stick went from my craft station to my makeup station to glue down my eyebrows.
Hey, as somebody who has a full head of hair up there, that's not bad advice.
No, that's what all the drag queens do. But you need the purple one to glue it down, because hiding your eyebrows is a whole science.
I really could never glue a wig to my head. When I see what they do, no, you couldn't pay me. I have sensitive skin. Like, I literally have to wear like a certain prescription deodorant. I wear a certain lotion. I could
And not
not
just
have
prescription strength.
wig glue. No way.
I would probably break out in hives and itch for like 2 weeks with a horrible rash.
People suffer for fashion, which
Yeah.
if you're in the LA area on Hollywood Boulevard, the drag queen store, any size foot that you have, they have a stiletto, high heel, anything you can think
Hillary
of.
to come out west and visit. Hillary's like, I'm
mean-
getting in my truck now. I'm gonna stop by Utah, pick up my property, and then go shopping with Godless. Sorry for
You know,
speaking
hard it
for
is
you,
to get a
Hillary.
size 15.
It's I wear a size 13. I wear a size 13, and people discriminate against people with big foot. You pay more money for having a large foot. And because I'm a hobbit, I'm a Karen, because I'm short and have a giant foot.
So then how is the inverse true, that the smaller the bikini, the more expensive the price?
That's the pink tax. The pink tax
Okay.
is real. The pink tax is
True.
like, because I'll admit it, I wear women's deodorant because I'm allergic to the alcohol and all the lilac in the dudes. Like I can't wear Old Spice. I can't wear it, gives me chemical burn. So I'll wear Secret and you pay $1.50 more.
I think for the razors.
Oh my gosh. I had a Chihuahua that ate razors. Okay. Lulu was
Did
crazy.
they have a death wish?
Oh, we had to watch her. Like Lulu was crazy. I get anxiety just thinking about the things that she used to do. But the one thing she did, she exposed to me that first off, all those razors are cheaply made. All of them. From the ones you pay $15 for the ones you order online, they're all come from the same factory. And there is no difference between a men's razor and a woman's razor. Even positioning, even the ones with the old where's the ones that had the bar of soap around them? No difference. They're literally all the same factory.
The chicks with the
I watched a thing on like Sideshow Freaks, and one of my friends, again, Slim Cyborg, he's one of them sideshow types. But yeah, like a very common act is them chewing razor blades, right? And the thing is, razor blades, like if you really did chew razor blades, which they do, they're real razor blades. But the only thing that they may do is blunt them down a little bit. But once you start chewing them, they essentially kind of turn into tinfoil. They are very soft metals, and it's really weird and like, ugh. Still, don't get me wrong, it's disgusting, and you can tear the living crap out of yourself.
We don't recommend this as a hobby unless you've been professionally trained by a professional razor blade chewer.
I was about to say, like, I've never talked about it. When I was in my 20s, I was a piercer, but I went to school for it. So get the education before you chew razors is all I'm saying.
Right. I know.
I actually went and took a class and got a piece of paper that said, hey, this guy can actually pierce people.
I agree, Kilroy, which is why I had to stop the cat from chewing my headphones and my audio wire as we started the stream today, because he was like, wires, I like you.
Yep, that's crazy.
I don't know this brand, an old school DE razor. This I don't know.
Is that like a straight razor? Like when it has like a razor, but it has just
where you're like, welcome to the dentist and the barber shop all at once, please. Which brings me to, speaking of sideshows, I know people who know people how to sword swallow, and as much as I know and I'm kind of health protective, I want to learn how to do that so bad. Come on, sword swallowers, hit me up.
You should check out Slim's.
I'll have my boy get a hold of you.
Yeah, you should check out Slim's the real deal.
People, and I'm like, just teach. I know they've got like, what is it? Boobzilla learned from swallowing, practicing on coat. Don't throw out the wire coat hangers, but that's how they learned how to do it.
The only reason I cringe is because I lived in Arizona when they were one of the only states that was legal for body modifications. I dated a woman who had bolts in the back of her neck, and she had to get one of the bolts actually lodged its way in between her. She had to get surgery. She had to get it removed over it was in there forever. I've seen people with the bumps, the donuts under their skin.
Oh, yeah. What is that? Are those called? Are those the subdermals? There's so many new things that are like new from when I first got pierced.
They make me cringe, and the only reason I do is because I was like 19, 20 when I lived in Arizona. This was actually before I was in college. This is right before I moved to LA, and like I'll never forget. It was an experience. It was an experience. I always go to the underground part of the city. I love clubbing, at least especially back then, and I found, because it was the only place in America where it was legal, lots of people had body modifications. And I'm talking about just getting your ears gauged, like all that was illegal back in the day.
Right.
I don't know about now.
Kilroy's learned us stuff. A DE razor is one of those all metal ones you put on a razor blade. Yep. Some people call them safety razors. Okay, so not a straight one, but the ones that you screw in that have got a single blade, like a box cutter blade.
I shaved my head with one of those. It took forever. I've used one of those.
I used a leg razor and my mom cried because I hacked my hair so horribly. That was the only time. Like, I came home from Europe with my nose pierced. That was fine. Shaving off my hair and butchering it, that made my mama cry.
I still have the scar where my mom ripped out my Tupac. But because
Ow.
I'm brown, you can't tell. Oh, and she wanted it to hurt too, and she ripped it out. She ripped it up so it didn't like completely scar me. But if you look closely at my nose, it's there's scar tissue there. I pierced it by myself too, kids. This is
Oh, God.
before.
Oh, we don't recommend that. Cartilage piercing is. I pierced my ears, but not my. No, I was in a cute little place in Barcelona.
I discovered my African. That's when I discovered how African my ancestry was, because my nose is nothing but scar tissue. I mean, it's nothing but cartilage. And my nose is so. But I got it through, and I thought I was fancy because I had a real diamond and everything. I wanted to be. I wanted.
Fancy.
I had the Tupac. I had the eyebrows and the nose ring and everything.
With the little like slash marks in it.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
nice.
yeah.
I went from having my ear pierced, and I just had just my ear pierced, and then I went to the junk, and then I had that done, and then
Oh wow,
that's
you
it.
had a Prince Albert?
I did.
Not in the can.
Not in the can. Well, I guess it was in the can, but that's if that's what you want to call it.
I'm just thinking about the old tins of tobacco that was Prince Albert in the can.
Prince, do you have Prince Albert in the can?
Yeah.
Well, you better let him out.
Right. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who still knows that horrible joke. I'm like, oh, I have friends who are my same age and are old enough to have lived around people who are older than we are. Oh, gosh. Oh, Kilroy, I have eczema on any other razor else, basically, like battery acid. Ow, that sounds terrible. Eczema sucks. Red, edgy skin things are the pits. It's like one of my nemesises, besides anxious stomach aches.
We had and it was real bad, especially in I guess a few in the Black community. With our when I was in the Army, shaving bumps was a real bad thing, and like for me, I'd say shaving was never an issue, but like when they would shave and they would just have these bumps all over that would get like I guess we're in grown hairs or whatever, but like. Yep. It was super bad, and they'd have to end up getting like shaving profiles where it's like, okay, it's cool if you don't shave. We'll work on it.
Right. You can use a number 4 setting instead of a number 0 setting.
Yeah.
The Army doesn't provide bump fighters. There's a razor and it's called a bump fighter, and I know this because I live where Black people live, and I may or may not happen to be one.
I mean that intimately.
Not only am I a member,
card carrying,
but bump fighters are real. I'm surprised the Army doesn't have. It's just a razor with guards on it, okay. And it's to go over your ingrown hairs and your bumps.
I've never. Interesting.
Whoever is it, Dark and Lovely? It's been so long. Whoever used to make that stuff for your hair, I haven't had hair since there was a 19 in front of the year, so I forgot what is it? I used to put all kinds of crap in my hair until I realized I was half Black and I could just curl my hair using Pantene Pro V. But I used to put what was it? But that same company, it's Luster. Yeah, because they make all the hair care products. They make a razor for African Americans because it is such a giant problem. It's a huge problem. I had acne as a kid. I used one. I had real acne as a kid. I always go. People don't believe me when they see my skin now, and they're like, "Oh no, I was crater face."
I was super fortunate throughout my pubescence that like I didn't have the acne problem. Like I maybe throughout my like junior high school, just like a handful of zits. I was super. I mean, that was pretty. Like showers was my thing, twice a day, but yeah, I was very fortunate.
I'm looking
Yeah,
for
I
my
didn't have
fro
that problem
picture.
either.
I was a grease bag. I had to learn how to take care of
I am a
myself.
teenage dirtbag baby.
Like,
Oh, before I grew my hair out, I was big into brile cream and getting that razor sharp 60s comb over going. Oh, that must have been adorable, but I'm sure your long hair is also adorable.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I had a neighbor that dressed like a pachuco until the day he died. He wore white tee. He was an old man. He had the around here we call them paisas, but he had the Mario Brothers mustache. He had the slick backed hair. He'd wear a white t-shirt and jeans, and he would dress like that whenever he was on his free time. He never got out of that style.
Oh, well, if you know what you like and it works, why mess up a good thing?
Hey,
like every time
the guy wearing a vest, I am no one to judge. I dress like it's 1985. Like, I am no one to judge anybody. So tell me,
the greasers.
So tell me again, I don't need to buy another sewing machine.
You do not need to buy another sewing machine until you come up and visit and bring me my sewing machine.
I might have to, because I need room for that guy. That might actually. You know what? If I ever do, I'll give you all my whites, because I'm more of a singer guy, anyways. Yeah, I'll bestow the wonderful habit of hoarding sewing machines.
I can be a white hoarder. Oh, Killer, you're too funny. My face was so oily in my teens. It's a wonder the army didn't invade.
Oh my God.
You can switch your style to whatever you want, Liz. I know I'm in the process of refinding myself as well. And Liz is yelling at you. No more sewing machines.
Oh, she knows. It's a. I need to go to Sewing Machines Anonymous. But I got this last one for $8, and you know what? I'm gonna pull that thing out right now. $8.
That's a good price.
I went to I'm constantly getting my truck worked on, and so I found an honest mechanic because I had to get the oil changed. And my truck,
Oh, that's right. You can't do it yourself because your neighbors will yell at you because it's illegal. That is just lame.
Yeah. It takes 16 quarts of oil too.
Good God!
It's a giant truck. It's something unreal. Like when the guy,
huge tires.
Because I told the guy, I was like, "Oh yeah, I threw 3 quarts," and he's like, "Bro, that's not even a drop in the bucket." And he showed me, and I'm like, "Is this real?" I'm like, this entire time they've been putting this much oil in my truck, and I didn't even know.
You have the angel and the devil, because Kilroy says yes, more sewing machines. Just
damn right, thank you.
Says no.
So I'm never on that side of town, and so I was like, the Salvation Army is right up the street. And so I went to the Salvation Army, which I never go to, and they had a sewing machine, and they're like, they have reasonable prices at the Salvation Army. Their clothes are out of control. They've lost their damn mind. But with electronics, they wanted $16 for it. I was like, that's gravy. And for $16, I knew it was going to be broken. So I was like, gravy. And when I got to the counter, the lady was like, $8. I was, huh? And she's kind of stood there, looked at me like, did this guy switch the tags? But it clearly says sewing machine on the tag. So, it wasn't even lying, So I went on sale day and I scored. Oh. Yeah.
So do you know what's wrong with it?
You're going to laugh at me. I took a piece off and it started working.
You're kidding.
I completely removed a piece.
Yoink.
So is that one that the sewing machine didn't work because there was that on your station that I saw it, or somebody else's that had the original screwdriver lost?
That was mine. That was mine. I still that thing is in my desk. That is that's going to go in the Godless Sewing Museum. Like, Some
I'm getting
dummy,
married with this screwdriver because
some guy literally quit using a table. That thing is like brand new. So that means they got it. It came with all original parts. That means they didn't use it for over 40 years. Because the sewing machine is around my age, if not a little bit older than me. So they got it stuck. It says Kenmore on the sewing machine. Screwdriver says Kenmore, so it's an original part. And it was stuck in there. And when I pulled it out, I was like, gotta be kidding me. And the machine is like a brand new machine. Maybe I should bring a table out. I do have options. I have options. I have options in this.
I'd say so.
right.
And I'm in this really weird, like, if you don't work, you gotta go phase. Because the one thing I don't want to do is hoard trash.
Right. Because that does make you a hoarder.
That's the one thing that, like, the good example I always had, because my pops would always shame me. And he's like, bro, if it doesn't work, get rid of it or sell it. He'd tell me all the time, like, only have things that work. Unless it's like I sold a non-op sewing machine for a couple hundred, and that was cool. But somebody just wanted a wall hanger,
Fair. Or unless it's like super or like for some special value. But yeah, trash needs to go.
And like I had a broken pair of sunglasses. Like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? I had an intervention with myself. I was like, man, come on. Come here, give me a hug. I'll give yourself a hug. Throw this in the trash. You'll be okay. And I don't know. I just, it's time. It's time. Because I'm a capitalist too. And like a lot of this, I bought with the intent to sell. And then I'm like overcompensating for some issue that I'm already over.
Yeah, to sell it, make the money, and get over it.
But my real justification is that from the sewing machines that I've sold, I've already made more money than I've ever spent on any sewing machine in this room.
Good work.
So ever since, and it's because I sell the old singers, and that's all nostalgia. That's all people saying,
especially
oh, my grandma.
Those 99Ks.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's different. Like
Butterfly said. Yeah.
Like Butterfly said, when you get those, man, I see people selling them for $6,000, $5,000.
Oh my God. You could sell one and buy an industrial machine and still have money to save. Here.
Oh, there's a list because Isaiah has way better eyeballs than I do. Like, I show him pictures. I'm like, when we're out, if you see this and this and this, let me know. And the boxes look like this.
Right. Just pull my sleeve so nobody knows that we're like super interested.
The older sewing machines come in square boxes, metal boxes, so it looks like nothing. It looks like just
inconspicuous.
Yeah, super. Because the even today, I walked up on a projection machine thinking it was a sewing machine.
Just everything sewing machine.
I don't mess around. I don't mess around. It's so sad. When I go to the swap meet, I tell Isaiah, like, hey, keep your eye out for sewing accessories. He's like, I know.
Right. Especially the boxes, the puzzle boxes that are super cute.
What I've bought a few. I feel bad though, because I feel like when I see tools, I'm like, oh, those are stolen. Those are stolen off a work crew. Like, you could tell, like, no, that you had to work for the company to get one of these tools. Like, you could tell,
This says PG&E on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Right. If it's got a serial number with a company, stay away.
But when I see like those,
anything.
I see those old plastic 1960s sewing kits, like the box, the 3-layered ones. I'm like, someone's grandma died. I'm like, somebody passed away. Somebody, like, no one, those aren't just, no one's selling those. Like, so I find those because they always have bits and bobbins and all kinds of weird stuff,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with those. And it's sad because I'm a bit of a vulture. So I'm like, I'm going to buy it anyways. But it's sad because someone passed away.
Buy it anyway.
Right. But then it's also sad that their family didn't appreciate what they had to want to keep living it in their own family lineage.
I think about that all the time. all the time because like I carried the mantle for my pops, but we both had weird ass habits. Like we both pretty much had the same habits. Like I always say, my brother, he pulled up to the house and was like, "What are you gonna do with the mannequins? Are you gonna shoot them?" I said, "No, I'm keeping them because you want to destroy them. Get out of my house. Go away."
Their death is not here.
They thought my dad was weird. They just put up with him because he had all the money.
Oh, that is
But
sad.
you know, but like I think about that all the time because they were like Isaiah. Like, no, he doesn't care. I was thinking about like finding a museum or opening up my own because I just don't have sewing machines. I have cameras. I have all kinds.
You've got a whole like 20th century archive.
There's an old comedian. She actually wrote for Dave Chappelle, and I saw her live, and she told this joke about how like she's basically the last black woman in America, and she says, "You know what? One day, 100 years from now, they're gonna walk past a museum, and I'm gonna be in there." And I feel like that. There's gonna be a museum, and it's just gonna be godless sewing, modern 21st century hoarder.
21st century digital boy doesn't know how to live, but has got a lot of toys. Oh, Kilroy, you just reminded me. A year or two ago, somebody here in Pennsylvania stole measuring devices or a detector or something that has nuclear material on it. Oh, the Geiger counter was real. You should take the drive up to Corning and go to the Corning Glass Museum because they do have some uranium glass with the Geiger counter in the glass cupboards. It's great.
That's coveted in the Goodwill circles. Corningware is coveted. If you find it, like I'm in a group in Facebook that posts all the weird stuff they find at Goodwills and thrift stores in general. And that stuff is like it's on the holy grail list of like, hey, if you can find this, it's rare.
I know their hot shop is amazing, and I would like some uranium glass.
The mannequins stay. Yeah, they're damn right.
Mannequins or die.
It's because I come from an extremely repressed background, and he was not. And so when you're your true self, it scares people.
Yeah.
When you are who you are, like regardless of what people think, it like people hate you for it, you know?
I know, because they don't feel comfortable enough in their own skin, so they get mad at everybody who's like, but why don't you just toe the line?
And I don't think there's anything wrong with being an introvert, but there are people out there that are just boisterous, outgoing, and like I go looking for those people.
I'm only this way. Actually, no, I had to. Yeah, I took time to grow into myself.
Life's been good to me so far is my favorite Joe Walsh song, and I hope they play it at my funeral. My Maserati goes 185. I love that song. Because he's talking about fame and fortune and basically how he lost everything because of it. I actually have that album. I am so old. I have that album on vinyl and on tape and a CD.
Okay, we've got all the bases covered. If one device shits the bed,
on 8-track.
Something 8-track.
8-track isn't like tapes last. Okay, vinyl is tricky as long as you don't keep it in a super hot or super cold place. You're okay.
Or
but
scratch it with a needle.
True. 8-track just didn't. It's kind of like Betamax, where it's cool if you have all the technology in the same place at the same time, but it's not really available. You know, like you can still buy VHSs. You can still go to Goodwill, go to your local charity shop. You know, you can still order them.
Phoenix, what is that inside of your hula hoop there on the wall? They almost like boxing glove looking things.
It is a knitted heart and 2 lungs because cardiovascular health is important. So that when I was doing visits from I love body parts and was like, I can knit my own, and it's a good teaching tool. Here, I'll grab them.
Cool.
Oh man, if the Lung and Heart Association ever heard of me, they would put me in jail.
Love the blossom hat, by the way.
I'm obsessed with this hat. I love this hat, and it's oddly warm too. So I've been wearing it a lot.
Oh, God, it's got like the esophagus and whatever and everything. Or
in my troubleshooting of learning how to make hats, I made this extra thick. I just have Rasputin. I have it stuck in my.
That is really cool.
Up. It randomly popped up.
God, that is remarkably detailed too.
I just followed the patterns. I also have an intestinal tract from mouth to anus, but I need to finish my gallbladder and liver. My spleen's already done, but I don't know how to mount it because my guts are like literally 10 feet of small intestines.
That's a lot to sew.
It was a lot to knit, but yes.
How's it going, Butterfly?
Butterfly. Everybody knows your name.
See, that's a better song to get stuck in my head. Now I have that song stuck in my head.
Rasputin.
You know, people trash Woody Harrelson, but he's a kind of a humanitarian. And if you get arrested for large amounts of Mary Jane, he'll come to your defense and get you a lawyer. There was a guy in the Hollywood Hills that got busted, but really it was his house and he was obsessively growing and he wasn't doing anything illegal, but the cops busted him, and Woody Harrelson helped him get all of his stuff back.
Oh, Liz, I would not call myself an extrovert except for on the internets, and you are welcomed by the fake extrovert introverts here.
I'm like 50-50. It depends on the situation. Sometimes people don't deserve me at 10.
Fear. I also, if I'm in a large group of people and there's too many people talking, I don't feel the need to yell over people to have my opinions or thoughts heard unless I'm really impassioned. And then I'm like, shut up and let me talk.
You could do what my grandmother used to do. She'd grab a wine glass and get a knife or a fork and say, excuse me, until everyone listened to her.
Like you're giving a cheers at a toast at a wedding. You're like, it's my time now.
Oh, she was famous, man. When she said, excuse me, everyone stopped talking because we knew she was going to give a Pinot Grigio greeting to somebody or say something. I miss that era of the Scotch drinking, 3-piece suit wearing. Like whenever I went to my grandparents' house, my grandma was in full like dress that she made or something. But keep in mind, they were 1940s, 1950s. And my grandfather always had on like literally 3-piece. If it wasn't a vest, it was a jacket or a blazer or something, you know.
Right, we've gotten so casual. Like, why can't people dress up and be proud in their clothes? Proud in how their appearance again.
Absolutely. That's what I try to I try to weirdly instill that in my son, even though I dress like a tow truck driver. I tell him, like, you know, take pride in how you look. You know, when you get up every day, like, get dressed. See, it's different because he's homeschooled.
Right. So if you don't make him put on pants, then he's going to go to class in his dupas.
Yeah. And that's just, maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm just too strict as a parent. But like, okay, if you're going to have a meeting, at least put a shirt on. Like,
right.
I'm okay with pajama
if it's
pants.
online, nobody see below the below the pants, below the table.
I just don't. It bothers me how he'll go to a meeting with the shirt that he slept in, and I'm like, no, that's a reflection on me, bro.
Right.
No, because I don't know who needs to hear this, but the teachers are judging you.
Right, just as much as your students. Your
Yeah,
kids.
teachers are judging you.
Yeah, I press, obviously not my t-shirts or anything like that, but yeah, my jeans, press it, and like every day, it's like in the morning, I press my slacks and my polo shirt that I'm gonna wear for the day, and just gotta look, presentable.
That's way more pressing than I do unless I have to. So good job on you, Skits.
I have a really quick question for you, Skits. Do you own a dryer?
No, no, I live in apartments.
Oh, okay. Because the only reason that I do not iron my clothes is because I have a iron setting on my dryer.
I know, but you couldn't get Skits' front crease, the perfect
True.
like creased out. Like you can't do that in the dryer. You have that takes like actual pressing.
I'm like slobby chic is what I'll tell you, because I iron so much for making clothes. Like I don't like to iron.
Me neither.
Because that's one thing that you're going to discover from sewing, because you're going to need a perfect corner. You're going to have to make it with an iron,
I think he's got his pressing skills already out. We might be able to sew better, but his pressing skills are way better. Skits has got us cornered in the pressing market for like.
That is true. I didn't think about
that.
Heavy starch.
See, you've got all the stuff. Yeah. You're going to surpass us in no time because you know how to press well. And that's like sewing skill number one that everybody hates to do and nobody wants to admit it.
When I was younger, wow. In the like, do you guys ever, were you guys mall rats?
Yes, sort of. I worked at the mall. So.
There was a store called Structure where they sold, it was high-end yuppie wear. And my brother was obsessed with it. And I ended up taking all of his clothes, and people thought I was rich. But I would obsessively iron and press those clothes because they were made to be dry cleaned. So I treated them like I was a dry cleaner, But I eventually grew out of that phase. Like the grunge era hit, and I was like, oh, flannel, cruddy pair of slacks. I'm ready to glow. I'm ready to glow. I'm ready to go.
You were ready to glow. And I think that's when Skits went into the army. So then you were like, hey, high school kid, you will be perfectly dressed.
Oh, man. And that's what's crazy nowadays. Like when I was in, we had to press our uniforms. We had to shine our boots, everything like that. Nowadays, not to be one of those people, but and it's nothing that from the soldiers. It's the new uniforms, like they're canvas boots, so no more shiny boots, which saves hours. And like the new uniforms, they specifically tell you not to starch and iron because it messes with the digital camouflagey kind of portion of it. So they don't have to do that.
Also, you feel like, so they're slackers. Like you're like, back in my day, we had to work this hard to be presentable. And now you kids are like cheap trash.
And they no longer, in the military, they no longer do the shark attack either.
Yeah,
like when you get off the bus, they don't traumatize you anymore. Like I remember when my brother graduated from Camp Pendleton, I was traumatized just sitting in the bleacher. But they don't, and I know this because my brother he's in his 50s, but he was like, these kids, back in my day, he was the same one that brags about being waterboarded. He's like, they tortured us and I'm still here.
Oh, Kilroy, both the malls around me are on their last legs. I can't wait for them to finally go under. I know you're close enough, may or may not know the Arnott Mall. That mall was so tiny, but Hess's and the Husky Kids section has fond memories in my heart. Because who remembers Hess's?
It makes me want to cry. I'm of that age. So when I see, like, I can't watch those dead mall channels. I can't, like, ContraPoints has this really depressing video about, like, capitalism. I can't watch those videos because I remember I don't want to be one of those people who literally lived through the peak of our version of humanity and didn't even realize it.
I think we did, but we did.
I agree. And so like that's why I'm so nostalgic about like even music videos, because these kids nowadays they have the internet, okay, but they don't have like, I don't know. It was just something else to watch. Like I would see rare rock videos at after midnight or Yom TV raps.
MTV After Dark or whatever that was.
Man, Yom TV raps taught me how to dress. This hat right here would not have been made if it was not for MTV.
No. Wardrobe bought by MTV in the 90s.
So I'm not like, I don't know, I'm torn. But capitalism, we do need a revamp on capitalism. So maybe we were excessive, but I was there, so I celebrated. Like cruising, I don't know if I'll ever go on a cruise again. But that's just a very first world thing. That's awesome.
Yes, I just need to finish tacking down the pleats in the back because they're not laying flat. So I'm like doing some giant whip stitches to make them look pretty. And I probably need to either sew some fake buttons and some poppers in or do something for the front closure to make sure that the chesticles stay contained. But yes, I did finish the polka dotty dress.
Nice. What you working on now?
I can't put it on right. Well, I guess I've got clothes I could like do a wardrobe change.
Well, what are you working on now?
What am I working on now? I am cutting out pieces for a corset belt because my corset needs pressing and my iron is in the other room, so I can't like be present without worrying that the electrics are going to set my house on fire and stream. And there's a lot of reasons I can't plug the iron in right now. So I'm starting something new because I'm like almost enough done with my current projects to warrant new things, even though when I'm knitting, I'm very good about being a monogamous knitter, except for this crochet project that...
I wish I could do that. I was going to make a jacket last night. Instead,
I'm so terrible. I'm such a poly sewer.
Same. I like that. I have two projects going on at once. Like I was going to make the twin because of course I do. I have the red print of my blue jacket, but then I decided to make my blanket duster. I'm in my cowboy phase. I am in full Briscoe County Jr.
Oh, yes, your mama jokes.
Absolutely. And I think because I'm like, I think music is so bad that I have reverted to listening to like Shalimar, Midnight Star. Like I've gone back to 1981.
Worst thing is I found a Taylor Swift song I liked, and it made me so mad when I found out she sung it. I was like, why? But the Anti-Hero song is so funny.
Oh, I did hemming today, Butterfly. And that's why I'm sitting here smoking instead of sewing.
Little darling. Oh, I know. It'll be A-okay, honey. My trick to that, honestly, is these rolled hem feet. Except I will show stuff that if I didn't tell anybody, nobody would ever notice. But the light's terrible. So at the bottom of this rolled hem, it's a little wonky because it's like cut on a circle skirt bias. So if I'd pressed it nice, it would look good. But I'm like, who's looking at the hem of my pants? Nobody's going to notice. So I'm just going to forget that this looks horribly ugly. And now everybody knows how I loved up. But I have a saying.
If someone's looking that close, they've bought it. And that means no one is going to be like, because
you either really like me or I like you enough to tell you my foibles.
Because I'm super subconscious and like, especially like with the jacket I messed up with when I made them both on the same side. Like when I wear that in public, everyone's like, dude, that's the rockin' ass coat. And I'm like thinking of every mistake I made on it,
I know we're always our worst personal critics. So I think performing is what helped me is like when you're doing a live performance, if you keep your face neutral and pretty, or you're in a big group and nobody knows, like, you're the one person whose bow is in the wrong direction, nobody really pays attention that much. So if you just keep your mouth shut, nobody's gonna know.
No, and they're not gonna and no one, you're right, and no one's gonna be as hard on you as yourself. I have to tell myself that all
Right.
the time.
Yep,
Do you know
I am
there's
my
people that
critic.
I'm big on numbers, and I'm like, I recently looked at someone I used to stream with, and I'm like, oh, I not even brag, but I'm like, oh, people watch my show and they don't watch this one. But I was really hard on myself. You know, I
Yeah.
was really hard on myself. I was like, oh, maybe it was me. No, it was not me. It was not me, because I took the audience with me.
And thank you, everybody who's decided to spend time with me on Sundays that's come over from Godless's channel. I really appreciate you, and I heart you. And don't forget to do all the YouTube-y things, because you're amazing, and I appreciate you all. Thank you. That's my PSA for right now.
And YouTube's changing. YouTube is changing, and it's going to become more privatized because they're getting these billion-dollar contracts.
So if you don't
So
want to
just
watch me over here, come check me out on Rumbles. If you're on on the Twatters, I try to post both things. Or if you go to Phoenix Electra Circus on Rumble, you just need to sign up, and it is a place for true democratic free speech. If you would, you might not like what's there, but they take the First Amendment to heart, and you won't be runned off for saying words. And you don't need
and
to
you can
say words.
you can say whatever you want on my channel too. I just stopped cursing. So when you see me self-censor, it's because I'm around mentally disabled adults and my impressionable teenager, and I would say evil things. Evil things. And so I've learned to censor myself, and my son is so literal, I had to stop saying you're killing me. I used to say that for everything, and he was a little boy. He said, "Are you dying?" And I was like, "Oh crap! I can never say this again." So over the years, I self-censor myself because I was such a pirate, and nothing will make you stop cursing than when you see your child talking the way that you do. And it's helped with driving too, because I don't tell people to go to Hades. I'm like 10 and 2, 10 and 2. 10 and I
Just
Nice.
oh, the driver's ed class.
But really quickly, Kilroy, there is a channel. I have cable. So there's a channel called VH1 Classics, which makes me feel really old, but it's just all the videos from the 80s and the 90s.
Oh,
And I
that
have
weird Don Henley Hotel California.
I told you my biker story with that song. That song made me friends in good old Detroit Lake, Oregon.
I used to have that cassette tape.
Have you, either of you heard the Afroman's newest stuff?
We
were
talked
just
about
talking
this.
about that.
Oh, did you really?
Poor
We-
Afro Man. He's gonna. I need to write that down. I'm gonna make him the thumbnail of my stream tomorrow.
That
I
lemon
know,
pound
I
cake
should-
song is fired. I mean,
I
everything
haven't
is-
heard that. I was going to listen to that one last night. I do
They're
need to listen to
great.
Lemon Pound Cake
That's a great
because
one.
it makes so sense with the original. Are you gonna fix my fence? Do you wanna fix my door? You
Where can
gonna
I
eat my
buy? I want to
pumpkin?
buy his song because he lives in a house like mine. I want to support Afro Man. Where can I? Does he sell merch? I'm gonna look him up. I want
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I want to.
He's
got
still
his
goes on tour.
YouTube.
He's actually down in your area right now, I think.
It's we get some of the greatest shows on earth the second the weather gets better, because we have a million that's why I've seen Ozzy like 15 times. I've
Right
seen
before he
Slayer
stopped.
11.
He's
Like
not doing so good right now.
Ozzy?
Yeah, he's got Parkinson's and too many brain injuries from all of his
Yeah.
amazing lifestyle choices and habits that he
Exactly.
could afford to have.
Yeah, Afro Man's gonna be in West Hollywood in August.
Oh, do they say where? That
Whiskey
Afro
a
Man
Go
likes
Go?
he has no problem with the community. That's funny. That's funny. That I respect him even more. In the Black community, there's people flat out don't like homosexuality at all in any way, shape, or form. It's a stigma. And so it's like 50-50 if someone's even going to talk to you in certain communities. And the fact that Afroman will perform in West Hollywood shows that he doesn't give a shizer, and that's cool.
And he
Afterman's
lives
the
in
shit.
such a modest house in buttfuck Ohio.
I feel sorry for him that and this is not an insult on Ohio, but I feel sorry for him that he lives in Ohio. Where can I support?
That's the problem. It was a county I'd never heard of, and I lived next door to Ohio, and I do not know this county, but the eastern states have way more counties than we do out west because they're small.
Yeah, I love the line that was something like, "Are you gonna help me fix my door? Am I gonna have to get my money back from this song?" Like,
I know, right? I make my money from rapping. I don't have drugs. Oh,
I don't need to kidnap.
I know, like, and that they found no drugs, and the one line like, "Why'd you have to traumatize my kids?" was like heartbreaking. It was like, oh no.
Did you find 1 million pounds of weed in my suits?
Did you find a pound of weed in my CDs?
Yeah.
So good. If I knew we were gonna get a copyright takedown, I would just play the whole thing. But that would be the kiss of death for the stream. We are getting to 3.5 hours, so we're gonna have to close up shop in a little bit here. But I don't want to end on that note.
VH1 MTV is awful. It's the Rob Dyrdek channel. Now all they do is show ridiculousness, Kilroy. But VH1 was soft MTV. Back in the day, it was just soft, and they would show alternative songs and like slow songs.
I know they don't. I don't think anything plays music videos anymore. It's just like reality. Like, isn't that where they've got like the teen mom shows and Knocked Up at 12 or like whatever weirdos.
People complained so much that they had to bring music videos back. VH1 has its own channel now, which is VH1 Classics, where they show all the old MTV videos, and MTV has a Classics channel now too.
Oh God, I used to stay up so late to watch like Pearl Jam when they used to have their live shows with Kurt What's-His-Face.
120 minutes, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, God.
Excuse me. That's where I'd see, and that's what got me obsessed with black metal, because they wouldn't play those, they wouldn't play those songs during the day.
I know.
Because they were dark. They wouldn't, dude, I saw Season Into the Abyss for the first time in 1990 on TV, and I remember that because my mom was like, "Go to bed," and I was like, "Uh-huh." Second I heard her snoring, I was like, I cranked it up. My parents drank, and so I knew the second they were snoring, I could hit the walls, and they were. But I those were great. Those were like memories for me. Was watching those videos as a kid.
I know. I don't need to plug their channel, but on America's Untold Stories, Mark Robert started MTV Magazine after he left National Lampoon.
That's awesome.
I know I shouldn't plug them. They've got like 30,000 people, but they're like funny humans.
I do that. I plug channels like all the channels I talk about. They have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Like, they don't need me. To promote them.
Like me and my 33 subscribers and 28 on Rumble because I subscribed to myself.
There was recently. I have. Emily Willingham and Brother Neckbeard, and they're both subscribed to me. No shame in my game whatsoever. There is no shame.
I was gonna go to class, then I got high.
And the only reason I admit to my British sock account is because I got exposed. I used to argue British politics, and then I told the wrong person, and then I got outed. So now.
Oh, Killery, we might have to have a movie night on my locals channel where we watch Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, so at the end of at Jay and Bob Strike Back, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I love how they go around. They're like, "Are you user 44 blah blah blah?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he punches them. Then they go to the next door. He's like, "Are you blah blah blah?" Like, I'm that petty. I felt that. Because people on the internet would never like. Lately, I've got a lot of people talking trash to me in my old videos, and I know they're real because I go in their thing, and I like. And they're complaining about something I did or did not do, but I forgot how demanding people are on the internet. Like one guy,
demand from themselves.
Somebody basically, and I laughed it off, but they yelled at me to make how to make Jenko's video. But I kind of want to do it, but like part of me is like, you will not tell me what to do. Only I tell me what to do. Damn right, Skits. That's 2 snaps and a hell no.
And it seems like everybody complains that tutorial videos don't really get any views. Like people want them, but then don't watch them.
Exactly. And this is not even a life hack. This is just the truth. If you want a bunch of views, make a mini sewing machine video. Right. And I've said this a million times. I don't know why people love small stuff. Right now,
it's because of doll houses and miniatures. Yeah.
They're a bane. Like I have my mini one right here. Those things are toy sewing machines. They are toys. Like, but people are obsessed with those stupid things, you know? I might buy another one just to get another 4,000 viewed video. Speaking of which, before we end the stream, I'm an obsessive Amazon buyer. And just as someone who obsessively buys stuff from Amazon, China, when we go to war with China, it's not going to be with bombs. It's not going to be with bullets. They're going to cut us off.
And then keep smuggling fentanyl over the border.
The bartender, we're not going to be able to get all the cool stuff. So order anything you can now. And I'm not joking. Because we are their cash cow. They're not going to send one bomb. They're not going to do anything to us like that. They're going to sanction us like we do to other countries. So order your Amazon now.
Right. And Kilroy wants cowboy Junkos, and Butterfly loves featherweight.
Cowboy Jenko. Is that like just assless Jinkos?
Out of leather or out of like my I will make a pencil skirt, an A-line, a jacket, and pleather vinyl Junko riding pants.
Butterfly, I don't know if you heard earlier, but like I have my son trained. There are certain sewing machines that I literally show him pictures. Like, if you see any of these, you come get me, or if I'm not here, you call me. And I will come pick it up.
Text me. SOS.
The first time I sold a sewing machine for $1,000, I was hooked. I was like, oh, I know it. He's a.
Congratulations, Liz, on 50 subscribers on your YouTube. You are crushing it compared to me, little old me. Good work.
But yeah, those I've made money off of those machines. People love those old singers. They're easy to put back together too. So tomorrow night, I gotta write that down before I forget. I need Afro Man on a thumbnail right now.
Before I
do it as we speak.
Right, you're gonna pull up the Afro Man. I know. I can't not believe those cops trying to sue him for using his likeness for commercial purposes. He's like, you basically broke into my house. This was my own security cam footage. I own. Like, this is my footage. And sucker, you're never going to be undercover because everybody knows your face because you're a jerk.
So they unplugged all the security cameras.
I know.
The cops are considered public property, so we can videotape them all day long.
Exactly. They were working in their professional government capacity. Yeah. We own them. Our tax dollars pay for them. So can we please have a flat tax instead of... I'm not going to go down that rant of a rabbit hole because self-employment tax blows. like a flat tax, please. Can it just be like 2%, something like nominal, and just call it good and not so complicated? Because, yeah, that's weird. Do you have anything to plug, honey? What are you sewing this week?
I don't know. It's been busy, but I want to start just doing basic, like easy things that will
Pillowcase,
eventually
pillow covers
transition.
are a good place to start.
Literally, exactly. Like
Yes.
so that'll eventually transition into the teddy bear. Like as
Yes.
far as
Yep. Start with the square things and don't buy nice fabric. Go to the thrift stores, get crappy stuff or old pillowcases to repurpose into smaller things, or bed sheets, or things that are like worn out and you can like cut through the holes. Get cheap stuff. Don't invest a lot of money in practice material right now. Just get crap. It's gonna be okay.
makes sense.
Oh, I think this is gonna be funny, Killer. I filled my house up with sewing machines, and I know why. Hey, because I get high. Because I get high. Because I get high. God, Killer, you crack me up, human. And you're awake. Well, we're gonna get off soon so that you can go to bed, because I know it's getting towards the ungodly hours of the nighttime over there. But
Oh man.
okay, there's the
Yeah.
other voice.
Odin,
This is
yeah.
definitely
I
fun.
don't know if I like Odin, but the cat had to.
Yes.
I didn't see my cat earlier, so I had to feed my cat really quickly.
That's a good job.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, because you got to watch out for Odin, because he's got his crow friends, Hunan and Munin, who are his other eyeballs, who search out and then come back and tell him stories. No, it's true. I may or may not have read copious amounts of Norse mythology, so...
My cousin did too, and he is like weirdly in my business. He's like texting me, "How's the cat? Where's your cat? Your cat's probably really an anthropomorphic god," and like being real weird about it. He's the one who downloaded all the sagas and everything on a tablet for me, and I still haven't read them.
You could just listen to Neil Gaiman read the Norse mythologies, because
Is
it's
that a
good.
thing? Is that real?
It is a real thing. Oh no, it's true. It's really good, and he reads them, and they're fabulous. And the story with Odin, not Odin, my guy Loki here, and Thor out drinking with the ogres, the frost giants, and so they are always getting themselves into trouble. So Thor says something to Loki, and Loki's like, I'm going to turn myself into a horse. And then he gets knocked up by the other horse, because Loki turns into a lady horse and hangs out with the other gentleman horse. And then Schleppnir, the 8-legged horse, is born for Odin to ride. You look so quizzical.
My cat, like, it now knows that I'm a sucker, so it yelps for me. But the cat now knows that I do not operate at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's good.
But I think the cat should be named Odin. I think naming certain things is bad luck. But people name animals.
Apparently,
We do.
when I moved away from Sacramento, when my mom passed, I had a cat down there, and
Your cat Oreo.
exactly. So apparently, though, they took him to the vet, and he's got some health issues. I mean, nothing too serious. He, like just thyroidism kind of stuff. Something that we can.
So he just needs his methimazole now.
Yeah, exactly. So now that means, though, like I now have to take him from where he is now with me, and I have a picture of him.
Oh, hey baby. Oh, oh, you're so cute, but yeah, you need your methimazole so you don't eat like a horse all the time and try to gain weight because you think you're hungry all the time. That was like my boobasti.
Oh gosh, that reminds me. Like I was not kidding when I said that my ex-wife like wants to capture Odin. Because we're scared that she asked me the same question. She's like, "Do you see the bits and bobs?" I said no. She's like, "You have a female."
Right, that's true. Yeah, you do need a what is it? One of the safety traps to TNR or keeper inside away from your sewing thread.
The cat's been outside its entire life because I opened the door. I'm like, bro, I have a flea collar waiting for it. I have rules. I'm gonna wash that cat.
No, it's okay. Once they get in, I mean, my Dashi Bobo was a street cat for an entire year, and then when he came to me in his time of need, he adjusted just fine, and it was a good thing too because he had his heart problem, so he only lived another year after I brought him in. So he died when he was 2. So he had a year on the streets, and then I gave him the best year as a house cat he could have ever had.
I'm scared though. The day she does walk in here, she's gonna be pregnant.
Well, that's why you also need to bring her in, and then you can bring me a white and a kitten.
During this stream, I called my ex-wife to see when she's dropping off my kid. The fourth thing she said was, "I'm coming over to your house with a net to get my cat." But you know, I would honestly let her have the cat because she's a cat person. You know, when I used to live in a house with 5 cats and a chihuahua.
Jesus.
And the cats ruled the house, and the chihuahua was like, "Bitch, get in the corner."
Oh, the chihuahua! The chihuahua needed a helmet because it was getting beat up all the time by the cats.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, that would be so funny. Butterfly God was trying to wash the cat for the first time. You should wear your leather work gloves that go up, like the vet size that go up to your armpits. Because
I have a few. I have welding ones.
You also need to manage the murder mittens.
And that's another thing. Like, can that cat could that cat make me sick?
Only if they've got ringworm, the skin condition, but that's easily treatable. That's the only one that I know of. I am dumb. I may or may not only know how to manage humans. I do not know how to deal with 4-legged creatures unless
I've been on dogs my entire life, so it's just, even my mom was like, you have a what? I said, I have a cat. She's like, what? It's strange. Like, even at the grocery store, like I buy cat food and
you have to. He knows. That's how they know where their humans are.
I've become that guy at Walmart who buys like a stack of cat food. I would always judge people. I'm like, your cat owns you. You loser. And look at me. I am literally that guy.
I know. Like, we spend $100 every 2 weeks at the pet store getting fancy cat food for our cats because Freya Froofers loves the Dorito treats, but she's decided that she likes the dehydrated salmon chunks. And I'm like, oh, we could basically eat the same food because it's literally just dehydrated salmon.
And another thing, my backyard has become the hangout for all the cats.
And because you've got food there.
Well, like they weirdly kick it in my backyard. My neighbor's evil orange cat, my next door neighbor's black and white. It's so strange. But cats do certain things on routines, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so like,
I know. we know.
Because I have a security camera, I see them playing with each other, and it's hilarious. As long as it's innocent fun.
Exactly. All right, folks, before my software kicks us off, does anybody have anything to shill? We will be back here, same bat time next week and tomorrow. And don't wait until tomorrow when you can be fabulous today. And don't laugh at others unless you have laughed at yourself. All right, bye.
See you later. Rock out with the clock out.